everybody. This is Cody Lewis, your GM for our End of the World campaign that is titled Circumference. This is episode 5. In the last episode, we only had Parker and Branson with us. They went on a bit of a mission to go get some medication for Ethan, the baby, who was kind of going into sepsis from the injury that the cane ants inflicted on him. But they went out with Matt and Quentin, found somebody locked up in a car. Actually, it was a mother and her son, saved them. Matt ended up getting injured, took the mom and the kid back to the apartment. Branson and Parker continued on, got the medicine, but in the process, Quentin was killed. Came back, and then they received a knock on the door. So just to kind of give an update to everybody on where they're at, Andrew, you've been kind of looking through the window as a scout. Matthew, you've been unconscious basically the whole time since the fire escape incident. So you don't really know what's going on, but we'll have you wake up at this point. All of you are very tired. You are a little dehydrated, hungry, probably need to go to the bathroom, and also probably need to catch some sleep, because it is about it's about 4 in the morning right now, if you were to go by time that you guys are used to. So that is a thing.
We should at least answer the door.
Well, before we do that, I'm going to sneak over in the general area of the door and kind of get in position in case something goes down.
Yeah, I'm gonna get behind something and have my shotgun ready.
I'm going to, pull out my pistol and then go to the door and open it.
Okay, so you also see Tara and Diane. They're kind of getting prepared. Matt, he's kind of sitting up on the counter. He just got wrapped up on his arm. He's kind of not moving that arm a lot, so it seems like it's pretty bad. But he kind of looks towards you guys on what to do. Andrew, you open the door and you actually see 3 men. One of them has a baseball bat in his hand. Another one has kind of like a cricket bat in his hand, and then there's another one who actually has a pistol. And they say, "Hey, we saw you guys run over here to the house. We saw that you guys actually had guns. We're from the apartment across the street. We've got 15 people or so kind of there. Some of them are hurt pretty bad, but you guys have guns. We were just wondering, if you could help us out, if you had any supplies or anything like that. We don't know what the hell is going on, but I don't know. We're here to kind of see if you guys will help us out. We're not sure how to go on from here." He's talking to you, Andrew.
Alright, so you said people were hurt? What kind of injuries do you guys got?
A couple of them got torn up pretty bad by those flying things, and they're really unresponsive. We have a few people who were in car accidents kind of at the beginning of all of this. Just kind of different areas. We're not sure what to do. Some of them aren't responding anymore. I mean, none of us are doctors.
As far as the ones that are hit by the flying dragonfly things, it's got a numbing agent when they get hit by them. So they're probably, as long as the injury itself isn't too bad, they'll be fine. It's just going to take some time.
Okay. Do you think that we could? Well, I'm afraid to move them, but do you think you guys could come to us, or we could somehow, get our people into this complex, since you guys are so well armed?
Yeah. How about we help you move your people over to this one? We can maybe we could knock one of these walls down too and set up a bigger room.
Yeah, that might be something that we can try. My name's Jared.
My name's Parker.
Name's Branson.
Hold out his hand. And then the 2 other guys, one of them's really tall. He's like, "Hello, I'm Jonas." And he kind of holds his hands out. He's kind of more of a outright kind of guy. It seems like you see that he's actually wearing a suit, and then the other guy's like, "Yeah, and I'm Brad." And he kind of speaks out, "Brad Jones." So he's like, "All right, yeah. Let's see. And what are you guys' names?" And I mean, you guys kind of acquaint yourself. Tara is actually kind of standing back inside of the living room, kind of quietly talking to Diane, who's kind of tending to Ethan right now. And Matt's still pretty quiet. He seems really at a loss that Quentin's come down. He's like, "All right, well, I don't know. Should we wait till morning? I don't even know if we're gonna even have morning again. I mean, are we on a different planet? How does that make any sense though? Like, we can still breathe, and like we haven't been assaulted by like foreign antibodies and stuff." And you can tell that he's kind of in a frenzied place right now, and he kind of starts muttering to himself about stuff.
Dude, don't worry about any of that. Right now, we have to worry about the now.
Hey,
Yeah,
quick
so let's
question.
start getting your people across.
Is Matthew awake now, or is he?
So Matthew, yeah, you're still on the you're on the bed in the other room, but you're awake now. Your shoulders kind of been like wrapped up and kind of in a sling, and
God fucking damn it.
so Matthew, you're awake now in the bed.
Okay.
Your shoulders been wrapped up and kind of like tended to. So you're just kind of sitting upright in the bed, and you can hear conversation going on in the other room, some voices that you've never heard before. But you also realize that you are in a place that you do not recognize. You're not in Matt's apartment. You're actually in another area. Because the last thing that you remember happening was falling from the fire escape. So you're just now waking up, but you can hear talking in the other place. You see Jared, he kind of leans in and he's like, "All right, yeah, we're across the street, but there's a lot of cars in the way that kind of like crowded it up." And then you see Jonas actually kind of step forward and he's like, "Yeah, so let me take it from here. We're about 150 feet from this entrance of the door. I've identified 2 to 3 of these slumbering dragonflies, as you call them, up alongside the walls. Are you familiar with the domes?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's sort of a name that we've started calling them. They seem to be the majority of the problem. We've tried moving locations before, but we actually lost a few people due to them. And you see Brad, and he's like, "Yeah, those suckers are nasty."
Have you killed any of them yet?
Nah, we haven't had a chance. We haven't really had guns, and they're kind of up alongside the buildings. But yeah, I saw one shot out a tentacle, hit this guy right behind the head, and carried him right up. It was just like 5 feet away from me. It was pretty freaky.
Yeah, one of our guys got hit by one earlier.
Yeah,
Also, if you kill a dragonfly, they typically will take the dead dragonfly.
Yeah,
And they're
that's,
not particularly fast when they're reeling back in.
that's another thing that we noticed. We saw that the dragonflies, kind of during the nighttime as it got darker, they would actually shoot that strobe at them, and it looked like it kind of disabled them for a second, like overwhelmed them, and then they flew by. So I think light really affects them, but we haven't found out a way to really kind of like edge that in. And Jonas is like, "Yes, it appears that their eyes are very sensitive to light. It might even kind of override them a little bit. The dragonflies appear to have adapted a way to take care of that."
Well,
Yeah.
we've got some flashlights. I don't know if they're powerful enough to reach them when they're on the building.
Yeah, it might be worth a try. I think we could give it a shot. And you see Jared, he kind of like gets a hold of himself a little bit more, and he's like, "All right, well, kind of enough standing around here. We need to figure out if we're going to do this tonight or if we're going to wait till the morning."
Well, it might be best to do it now while the dragonflies are still asleep.
Yeah.
Yes, it
The
appears
light
that
from the flashlights also
they hibernate during darkness in this time. Also, we've seen a few of these smaller creatures that have the ability to leap, but it appears that most of the ones that have filled up a couple of the rooms in our apartment complex have moved on. So I don't know if they're also on some sort of daylight cycle.
I think they are too. They were in ours, and we had some trouble with them. We've been calling them ant things.
Cane ants.
Cane ants, that's right. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. How many do you have with you total?
4. Because
Oh,
Matthew's
yeah.
awake now.
Yeah, there's about 4 of us that are capable of fighting right now.
And you see Tara walk forward, and she's like, "Hey, look, I can help you guys with this, all right? But we can't think about it. We can't bring everybody into this one apartment complex. I mean, we're having enough trouble with everybody else here right now. You get me? So
Well, that's why I'm saying maybe if we can we got several other apartment rooms here. We can probably take some walls out and make it bigger.
Yeah, but we haven't cleared them yet, so we don't know what's in them.
There's a good point there. How
you
about
see
for
Tara,
now we just
she's
start
like,
clearing?
well, I went and knocked on the neighbor's door. They weren't home, but I have an extra key for them because sometimes I take care of their cat. So that's something that we could maybe look into. But I mean, we have to be really careful. And she kind of like leans in and she's like, look, we're not responsible for these people. I mean, we've already have a lot on our plate. And I mean, fucking you guys' friend just got killed. And I don't know if Matt is, in a good place right now for that. Like, do we want to really help these people?
Can't lose our humanity, We
She
gotta
has
help
a
out who
point,
we
though.
can.
They might be able to help us as well.
There's also that we're down one of our best fighters.
They also have a ton of wounded.
But they also have other people who can fight as well.
Hey, look, y'all. Daylight's kind of burning here. We need to decide what we're gonna do.
It's fine.
Alright, we're gonna help you. I think we should go now.
All right. One of the main concerns that we have is getting over those who can't walk. We can't really carry them. Maybe we could make some sort of stretchers or something along those lines, but getting them from one place to another is going to be pretty tricky.
Andrew, do you think you can make some makeshift stretchers?
All
Some
right,
of the stuff
I just-
we've got?
Right, let me see the supplies and I'll work my magic on it.
All right. So what you're going to do is go ahead and give me a logic check, and the number of successes will tell you how well they get made and also how quickly. As you kind of look around the room.
Would broad knowledge and situational
Yeah, broad knowledge
sense, or-
and situational. Yeah, those will work. All right, so you got one more.
Oh.
So you guys see Andrew kind of think for a while, and he goes off and starts to collect. You hear him like pulling down like the plastic sheet in the bathroom, like the shower curtain, and he starts to kind of get to work on something. And you see Brad, and he's just kind of like, wow, that one's pretty industrious. All right, so I guess what we'll do now is kind of maybe secure the street level, and then maybe have like a team go in, use the stretchers to get the people, bring them out, and we can kind of lock it down on the street level so that the transition will be as smooth as possible. And you see Jonas, and he's like, yes, I think that is the best way to approach it. Are you proficient in firearms? I mean, I know that you have them, but do you have experience?
I'm pretty good with my rifle. I can shoot a firefly out of there, dragonfly out of there.
Pretty good with the shotgun now.
I've
Alright.
been very proficient with both my AR and my 9mm here, because, I haven't really missed much yet. Used it several times
Yes,
since
but
this shit started.
I couldn't help but notice that your ankle is not exactly in the best place right now. So it might be best if you were either on watch duty out on the street, or maybe possibly just stay within here and possibly help Andrew, I believe his name is, with the stretches.
I think watch duty would probably be the best position for me.
Right. The only problem that I see is that it appears that Andrew is your crack shot, and we might need his skills out on the street.
Yeah, he should be watcher.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think it would be possible if you could show Parker how to create these how to create these stretchers, and then you come
Sure.
with us? All right. So I'll need a logic test for you, Andrew, to teach, and then a logic test for you, Parker, to understand.
What would help here?
You can use your broad knowledge. That's fine. Let me open up my other thing.
Could I maybe use focus?
Yeah, you can use focus. That's fine for this. All right. So Andrew kind of runs down what his plans were to kind of make four makeshift stretchers, and using the bathroom curtain and a couple of other kind of like accoutrement, and you kind of get it, and it's not too complicated. So, well, if you're done with your teaching session there, then time is of the essence, if you understand.
Right.
Exactly.
Should I stay at the street level, or should I go up to the second floor to get a better cover?
Go up to the second floor because you'll have a better vantage point.
Yeah, you'll get that bonus as well.
Yes, if you are able to get into an apartment on the second floor, I believe that would be strategically advantageous for us.
All right then.
All right, so you take off. Let's see. So it's Branson, Matthew. What are you going to do? You can hear. Are you here right now, Matthew? Negative. All right. So Branson, and Andrew. Andrew, you're going up to the second floor. Branson, are you just going to go with Brad, Jonas, and Jared?
Yeah.
All right. So they kind of like gesture, kind of show you. Tara grabs onto your shoulder before you go out there, Branson, and she says, "Hey, look, just be careful, okay? If things get tough, you don't know these people anything. You know, just get back over here, all right?"
Alright. I whisper, my shotgun's loaded. I'll be fine.
All right. So they kind of lead you out through the apartment complex's door, and you are really tired. All of you are. All of you are pretty tired and also hungry, but the adrenaline's kind of keeping you going. So they get out onto the street level. They're very quiet. You see Brad kind of crouched down. He's the guy with the pistol, and Jared has the baseball bat, and then Jonas has the cricket bat. And they're kind of looking around, and you see Jonas point up at one of the buildings, and he's like, "Ah, look, one slumbers." And he's gesturing to a dragonfly that's up on one of the buildings, kind of up in front of you.
Okay.
But there's no domes around that you can see.
Hmm.
All right. So he gestures for you guys to move forward. And Andrew, you make it up to the second floor. You see that, it's basically in the same state that you guys kind of left it before. There's some like patches of where fights kind of took place, some of the cane ant blood, with leftovers from the dragonflies and the dog and stuff like that. And they smell kind of bad, but it's not. You have more pressing issues. One of the doors is actually open. It's Steven's apartment. Actually looks across the street to where you need to be. Do you go inside Steven's? There's another room as well that you haven't been inside, but the door is open.
Right, I go inside this new apartment.
All right, so you step inside the new apartment. Once again, it kind of looks like somebody left in a hurry. Like things were kind of thrown together, not really bags and stuff, but like it looks like they grabbed whatever they could to get to another location. But it looks, it's kind of dirty. It looks, from what you can see on the pictures, that it was just like a single college-age woman that lived here or whatever. But she has the curtains drawn on one of the windows. And what do you do?
I search the other rooms in the apartment.
Go ahead. Give me a logic check, and you can use situational awareness.
Right then.
All right. So you look around. You don't find anything particularly useful. besides in the medicine cabinet, there's some painkillers, as well as different, like kind of over-the-counter medicines and stuff like that. So, but you didn't find any weapons and stuff besides like kitchen knives and things along those lines.
Right then.
All right. So do you get set up at the window?
Yeah, I'll nudge it open.
All right. So you kind of tenderly pull back the curtains, and you can see that the window is closed, and you actually see Branson, Jonas, Brad, and Jared like moving forward across the street, kind of around some of the more gnarly traffic areas. The window looks like it's painted closed. It's the only problem.
Right, then I'll take out my pocket knife and cut open the paint.
Okay. So you start doing that.
Yeah, I'll be back real quick.
Okay. So you start cutting away at the frame. Parker, go ahead and give me a logic check.
Damn it.
And there'll be a bunch of, depending on how many successes you can get, different things will happen.
Can I use focus?
Sure. Yeah, you can use focus. Right.
God damn it.
So you've gotten 2 stretchers done out of the materials that Andrew kind of told you about, but Andrew said it would be easily possible to make 4, but you're not really seeing it. You can't seem to get the material to cut right and then like kind of peg it in the way that Andrew showed you, but you managed to get 2 finished that seem like they would work in hauling a person. What do you do?
Guess I should take it to the other people.
Okay. So you start to head outside?
Yeah.
All right, so you head outside, and you see Branson, Jonas, Jared, and Brad have kind of already gotten around a lot of the traffic, the collisions and stuff, and they're starting to head into an apartment complex. And Branson, you actually turn and see Parker kind of hobbling out of the old apartment, Tara's apartment and stuff. What do you do? Oh, Branson's not here right now. So yeah, you catch up with them and move to the front of the apartment, and they gesture for you guys to come inside. This one is a much smaller apartment complex. It's kind of squat, only 3 stories, but it looks to be kind of like wider. You actually see 2 people in the hallway whenever they come in, and you see Jonas, and he's like, we found someone who not only has weapons, but possibly a safe place to stay, possibly medicine as well. They seem to know more about what's going on as far as the injured than we do, so it appears that we're going to be moving camp. Does that make sense? And the other guys kind of nod, and kind of, you see that there are 2 apartments with the doors open. Varying degrees of like talking coming from them, some kind of like hushed sobs, occasionally like whimpers, low whimpers and stuff. So Parker, you have these 2 kind of stretchers kind of stacked up under your arm, and you see basically in one room there's a bunch of people kind of like together, about 10 people. They're kind of milling around. Occasionally they look out the windows. Most of them are kind of like 20s to 30s, stuff like that. Pretty scared, kind of talking quietly. A few of them have bandages and stuff like that. In the other room, there are 5 people who are kind of laid out on beds. A few of them look as if they're kind of similar to what Matt was going through, with being very like trying to do stuff, but being so numb that they can't, trying to talk or like turn their heads and stuff. That's about 3 of them. The other 2 are just flat out unconscious. One of them has a really busted up leg that's, you can see kind of red coming through some of the sheets that they've tied to kind of like control some of the bleeding. And then the other guy has a bandage wrapped over his eyes, and is just laying still, and you can kind of see a red spot coming through on his left temple. And Jonas turns to you and he says, those are the worst. Either they're unresponsive or they're unconscious, but these are the 5 that are the worst.
If there's anyone else who can move people, I was only able to make 2 stretchers with the materials, but if we can get 4 people who are capable of carrying them, they can take them out. I'll go take up watch on the street level.
All right. Yes, we have enough manpower to be able to get that done. Just mind your foot. And he starts to kind of talk
also,
to you.
One more thing. If you don't think they can be taken out quietly, offer a gag or something so they can't. If they scream, it's over. Everything within, I don't know how far of a radius, will be on us.
All right.
So if it's too painful for him, offer a gag or something.
All right, I will stress silence above all. Brad, please go into the other room and prep the others on what we're going to do, and then we will take it from there.
Okay, I'm here.
All right. So Branson, basically, they moved. You guys have moved into the apartment. Parker joined you guys. He has 2 stretchers. In one room, there's about 10 individuals, 20 to 30s. Pretty freaked out. Some of them have cuts and things like that, but they're like they can walk and stuff. And in the other room, there are 5 individuals, 3 of which kind of have that similar kind of like numbing thing done to them that Matt experienced. And then the other 2, one has a bust-up leg and is unconscious, and the other one has a bandage over their eyes and head, and they are not moving as well.
Okay. So what do you want to do, Parker?
I'm gonna head out to and take a watch on the street level.
All right. Andrew, at this point, you've managed to cut the paint away and lift up the window, so you have vision of the street. You see a dragonfly hibernating up on, not on the building that they went into, but to the right, just kind of like balled up almost up against the side of the building, with kind of the light turning on and then kind of like pulsing a little bit. You also notice, since you have a higher sight, that on top of the building they went into, there are 2 dragonflies that are kind of like stacked up together, kind of doing the same hibernation thing as well. So Parker, you go back out onto the street level. You see Brad go into the room with the other more well-off individuals, and Jonas starts talking to some of the people who are tending to the more injured, and he has the stretchers with him. So, you see Parker and Branson. Branson, did you go to the street level as well?
Yeah.
All right, so you're out there. You see the door open, and a few people start to kind of come out. They're very quiet, very kind of like tentative. They look left and right. They see Andrew up in the window, and then they move across the street. There's kind of like a path that you guys have cleared a little bit to get into the apartment, you guys' apartment. You see the first individual who can't walk get pulled out on the stretcher. This person is just completely kind of loosey-goosey as they get carried out on the stretcher. No anything like that. They successfully are carried across, and then you see them take the stretcher and move it back towards the apartment. Parker and Branson, give me a logic check. And Andrew, you'll give me a logic check as well, but you'll add 1 extra positive die to it, just for being high up.
I'll be right back.
All right. You go.
Okay, I think my internet isn't gonna do this anymore.
Okay, cool. Matthew, you saw and heard Branson and Parker and Andrew talking to these people who just showed up, and they're talking about moving their wounded and just some of their people over to you guys' apartment complex, since you have weapons and such here, and so they're in the process of doing that. Parker, Branson, and Andrew just made a logic check, so let's see here. So Andrew and Parker, you guys kind of turn to the left, and you can see there's a very straight street, and it goes on for a while, and kind of like dips down and does a little bit of a turn, and you can see just congestion of cars and stuff. Occasionally, you can see a person like run from one side of the street to the other, and occasionally you see a dragonfly kind of like buzz by in the distance. But the thing that really strikes you is that actually out in the forest area, kind of way out, you see kind of like a very tall kind of like creature. It's taller than the trees, and above it you see kind of like this yellow cloud or yellow mist that's kind of like above it. It almost looks kind of like a flock of birds from, like if you were to see it from really far away, how it kind of moves and stuff. And you see that this kind of four-legged towering creature that towers above the trees and stuff has these long kind of like slender like tentacles that are waving through this cloud of yellow. What strikes you as odd is that as this thing kind of moves over the trees, the trees, or what you think are trees, kind of retract into the ground and then kind of like disappear into the ground as this thing walks next to them. So it's almost like they're avoiding getting trampled or something, but it's clearing a path as this thing walks around in the distance. So you guys see that, and that's pretty weird. So do you guys want to let Branson know? Like, Parker, do you want to let...
Yeah, I'm going to let Branson know.
All right. So, Branson, you look over and see that. Everybody give me a willpower check with 1 negative die, and I'll roll that for everybody. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So everyone's... You're kind of cutting out a little bit, Matthew.
Giving me 2 dice whenever I pick it up.
That's weird.
Well, you didn't have to make a roll.
It's giving me 2 dice whenever I pick it up.
Your internet is really cutting out right now.
Yeah.
But so you guys will take you guys are gonna take 2 mental stress.
I don't have any resistance.
Get 1 resistance.
I need a token, please.
All right.
Actually, 2, please.
Let me get those for you. All right. So you guys see that. That's pretty freaky. And it's way out in the distance. And you can kind of see that the thing is kind of meandering around. It's just to give you kind of a scale, it's probably about 50 feet tall. It's very big. That's why you can see it from this distance. And from where you guys are to the edge of the forest is probably like kind of like 2 miles out from where you guys are. But where you like this road that you guys are in is kind of like a major thoroughfare, so you can see all the way down it past the buildings and stuff. So you see a few more people get pulled through, and they successfully get brought to the apartment. The last person to get brought through on the stretcher, they're carrying him over, and one of the guys actually slips and ends up dumping the person out of the stretcher. And as soon as they kind of fall and hit the ground, this is the one with the bandages over their eyes and stuff. They hit the ground, and it kind of like wakes them up, and they start to yell and kind of like scramble around in kind of a panic. And you see a few of the people who were kind of helping others usher other individuals over, like they start to go over to them. But you guys hear kind of like a little bit of kind of a clicking sound, and the dragonfly up on the right of the building, you see the pulsing light kind of pulse a little bit faster. What do you guys do? Matthew, you can come to the street level if you want and see this, or if you want to stay inside. That's
all
right.
right.
I'll
go out.
All right.
I'm going to point my gun at it and prepare myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my hand on the guy screaming and tell him to take the pain.
He is. You can try to comfort him with
nurturing and.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is charisma. You're gonna need 2 successes.
I'm.
Boom.
Oh fuck
Alright.
yeah!
So-
I'm gonna ready my AR.
Okay.
Take aim as well.
So you kind of put your hand over his mouth, Branson, and what do you say to him?
Take the pain. Please, just stop.
And he kind of grows silent, but he's like, you can hear him, he's like, "Ugh." And the others kind of like help him to his feet and kind of guide him past the car since he can't see, back to the you guys' apartment complex. And then you guys see Jonas. He walks out with Brad, and he's like, he kind of like points at you, Parker, and kind of like makes a hand sign to let you know that that's everybody. So they start to walk across the street. Andrew, the dragonfly that you kind of have on your scope, the pulsing is faster, but eventually it starts to slow back down, and then just kind of goes back to the regular kind of pulse that you had seen before. And everybody that was injured or otherwise are in the apartment complex, Tara and Diana's. And Jonas and Brad kind of walk over to Branson and Parker, and they're like, that is everyone inside. I guess we will sort out arrangements inside now. Is there anything else that we need to cover on the street? Anything that we're forgetting?
No.
No.
Can I hand gesture Andrew to tell him, like, hey, that's all of them?
All right, so Andrew, you see from the floor, or from the street level, Branson kind of gestures at you that they're done.
Alright, I'm going to scan the street one last time and then go back down.
Okay. You see that the tall thing way out in the distance has kind of changed direction, and it looks like it's heading towards the city, but it's kind of hard to tell what direction it's moving, since it doesn't really have like a front or back that you can make out. It's mostly just kind of like it kind of looks like a really stocky umbrella with 4 giant kind of like trunk-like legs as it kind of like moves through the distance. But it looks like it's headed towards the city. But that's all you can make out of importance. So you guys get back into the apartment complex. Tara has opened the door next door, and it's kind of like bringing people in. You see Diane. She's kind of hustled over to the other apartment. She's brought Ethan in there with some of the sicker patients, or I guess the more injured ones, and she's kind of like looking at them, handing out pain pills, and the like. Not like heavy pain pills, but like, what she can. And Jonas walks over to her and he's like, I cannot thank you enough for allowing us to move in here. The security with your firearms will certainly help us out in this situation, but to be honest, many of our people have yet to really, I guess, rest or feel safe enough that they can sleep. We've done some early scavenging in some of the apartment complexes since we were trapped inside during the chaos. We found a few supplies. We've brought them over, so a case of water and some food, but I don't know how long that's going to last us.
We haven't really had much time to check most of the apartments here in this complex, so we've still got that to do.
We
Yeah,
should rest, though. Because...
Yeah, we need to rest.
Yes, the same thing occurred with us. We were having problems with some of the apartment complexes just being swarmed with those cane ants that you call them, but they have since disappeared, so maybe we can plan ahead next time to take advantage of that. Let's see. We have 2 rooms. They're pretty crowded. Would it be possible to get into a third on this floor?
I was thinking that as well. Maybe I might be able to pick one of the locks in one of these doors. That way we don't make too much noise.
Yes, it appears to be sound is our greatest enemy, and also keeping the structural integrity of the door will provide some extra security. You go ahead and do that. I'm going to talk to Brad about what we can do, and then possibly grab some shut-eye. We'll need to do some sort of rotation, some sort of watch, probably of 2 to 3 people at a time, just in case something else is out there that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
Hey.
that seems like a good idea.
Just give give this medicine stuff that I found upstairs in that apartment some painkillers and some other generic stuff?
Yes, I think that would be quite useful to give to your friend. I haven't heard her name yet, but she appears to understand the medical side of things, at least to some degree, and is seeing to our people. I guess it's our people now. Right. So yes, we need to decide on who is going to have first watch, and if we can set up some sort of barricades at the door, it would make people feel a lot safer and probably cut down on a lot of the panic, if you have not noticed that many people are experiencing right now.
But before we do that, can we have an ammo count?
Yes, the only armed individual that we had on our side was Bradford. He carries with him a 9mm. However, there is only the clip that he has inside of the weapon itself, and that is the extent of our ranged weapons.
Alright, well I have 5 shells in my shotgun and 3 rounds in my revolver.
Very good.
I have about 45 rounds for the AR-15.
I believe that... Oh, yes,
I've got
go
38 rifle rounds for my rifle and 13 rounds for my Beretta.
Good.
I think I have 1 round for my revolver.
You see Jonas actually pull out a little tiny notebook. It's very worn, and he starts to write stuff down inside of it.
Good thinking.
Yes,
Yeah,
inventory is going to be very important. Also, I believe that it would be strategically of the utmost importance if we have one individual on watch at all times who understands firearms, and then maybe 2 others who are not as privy to them to also stand watch, and then we can rotate those who know how to operate a firearm in and out during the watch, if that makes any sense.
Hey, if
That
this
sounds
sounds
like a sound
weird,
plan.
this may sound weird, but if you notice at your apartment, did you have any fire extinguishers?
Fire extinguishers. No, we didn't take a chance to look at that. We figured that any of the fires in the area would be out of our control, so we never thought to turn to the fire extinguishers.
They
Well,
are
they're
extremely
actually
efficient.
Weapons. We can kill them with the fire extinguishers.
At least canines and the
The dragonflies.
dragonflies don't appear to not like them.
Ah, well, that is certainly a development. I know that within our building we have 2 on every floor. At least that's what I can tell from here. I don't actually live in that apartment, but I am familiar with their layout for my own private work. And he's like, yes, so that is something that we can definitely look into as an alternative to firearms, as they are much quieter. Bradford, and you see Brad come over. He's like, yeah, what's up, Jonas? These young men here have spoken about the properties of fire extinguishers against the cane ants, the small ones, as well as the larger dragonflies outside. And I've informed them that there are most likely 6 within our building. I'm not sure if they've had a chance to fully search their own, but I believe it would be worthwhile to go and investigate that after everyone's had some rest. And Brad's like, yeah, that makes sense, Jay. All right, we need to sort out who's on watch first. I'm fine with taking first watch with a few of the other fellows. If you guys want to get some shut-eye.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I should probably need to stay off my leg.
Yeah.
You go.
How are you
You
on
go.
pain pills?
I still have a few left.
Yeah. So, actually, now that you think about it, Parker, your ankle is just throbbing, and it's actually kind of hard to keep your balance. So you can either willpower it or take a pain pill.
I'm gonna try and willpower
Yeah,
first.
so there's the best way.
And can I get focused for this, or will that really not apply?
You could.
If you push yourself, I'll let you take the positive die for it as well as the focus. But for this one, this is going to be more of like kind of a deeper resilience.
No, I'll just try it without it.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, I'll just take a pain pill. Shit.
All right, 2. No, you got it.
That was nice.
It's close. So you manage to kind of will it away, but you still kind of have to grit your teeth a little bit. You figure that you'll be able to catch some sleep with it, but it's not going to be super restful. But you can sleep with the amount of pain you're feeling right now. So where are you guys staying? Are you staying in Tara and Diana's place, or are you staying in their neighbors?
Tara and Diane.
Tara and Diane's.
All right. There's also that third door that you guys haven't dealt with to kind of maybe spread out the people a little bit more. Did you guys want to try to like pick it, or maybe like overpower the door, or what?
Yeah, I
We
was
should
gonna try
probably
and
get
pick
some
it.
rest first and then pick it.
I was gonna pick it first, real quick. I figure that won't take too long.
Okay.
Yeah. Parker, have you ever picked a lock before?
No, but there's a first time for everything.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know, like, what you would have to do it?
Does anyone else know how to do it?
I know
do.
in theory.
I mean, I know in theory as well.
I know in practice.
I'm jokingly gonna say, well, he has 200 hours in Skyrim, so I'm fairly certain he knows how to do it now.
Asshole.
You see Brad, and he's like, well, we might not even have to do that. I was actually thinking about this on the way over. If we can find the office, we might be able to break into it and find all their spare keys, and then we can just get into every place.
Good point.
Yeah,
I like
we
this idea
know where
more.
the office is as well.
Yeah. All right, so that might be something to think about. Did you guys want to get some rest first and then do it, or do you want to make everybody comfortable now?
Let's go ahead and get everyone, at least get an extra room now.
All right. Let me. Hey, Benjamin. Yeah, you come with us. We'll go take. You show us where the office is, and I just need one of you. We'll get the keys, and then we can open it up. The rest of you, I guess, kind of settle down. Maybe kind of tend to some of the people. Kind of talk. Maybe ease their nerves a little bit. It doesn't seem like that they've been through this before. I mean, not really any of us have been through this before, but I mean, like, a situation where that's a little traumatizing, right? And you see him kind of smile a little bit. He seems to be pretty relaxed in all of this, which is kind of strange.
I guess I'll go with you and show you where it is.
All right. And you see Benjamin come over. He was one of the people that was helping with the stretchers. He's a bigger guy. And he's like, all right, Brad, let's go take a look at this office. So are you going with him, Parker?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them.
Okay. Matthew, Branson, and Andrew, what are you guys going to do?
I'm going to give Tara my first aid satchel,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to go with them.
Oh, do you mean Diane, the
Diane.
bad one? Yeah. So you go hand it over to her, and she's she looks, there's like bags under her eyes, but she's kind of like tending to people, kind of checking on them, redressing some of their bandages, with some from the first responder kit that Quentin had. But she seems really kind of crestfallen. The whole time that this has been going on, Matt has kind of like seen some people and things, but he's been very quiet, and also very pale. He lost a lot of blood from the wound that he took on his arm. But mostly he's kind of stayed out of the way.
Alright.
And then the little boy and the woman, they're kind of off to the side, kind of keeping to themselves. So yeah, what do you do, Branson and Matthew?
I'm gonna stay with Matt, kind of talk with him.
Okay.
I don't see why I would need to go with Parker, so I'll stay.
All right. They've actually some of the people have gone through and grabbed some blankets and stuff like that, and it looks like they're kind of patting down in Tara and Diane's bedroom, next to the bed that you were laying in earlier. They're kind of talking. A few of them introduce themselves to you. You hear like a Claire there. You hear there's just a bunch of names. It's going to be difficult, but all in all, there's probably about 18 new people in the apartment.
Dang.
So Parker, you and Brad and Benjamin head towards the office. It's basically the same as when you guys got there earlier. You actually see the vending machine that you guys popped open and got a hold of some stuff. You actually see Benjamin reach in and he grabs an orange juice, and he's like, "Ah, yeah," and he just gulps it down. And you guys get to the office, but the door is locked to get inside.
Alright.
Andrew, you want to try picking it first before we kick it down?
Yeah. And I'm familiar with it, although I'm not highly dexterous, so would it be like a logic for me?
Or if it's Dex,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
It'll be a logic check, and then it'll be a dex check. It's going to be both.
Alright.
Could maybe Andrew teach it to Parker?
Yeah, and then I could just do he could show me how, and I could do the Dex.
I do have steady hands.
As you guys kind of looking at the lock, trying to figure out what equipment to use to get it open, you see Benjamin wrapping up his elbow with a piece of cloth.
You gonna ram it down, dude? Kinda looks sturdy in its frame.
No,
for me.
man. This is the easiest way to do this. And you see him kind of walk over, and he takes his
gonna break the
elbow and
window.
turns around, and he just slams it up against the glass pane. And the glass pane doesn't, because it's kind of almost like you can see through the door. It's kind of got like a glass pane kind of design, and he just pops the plane out of the door. It doesn't even shatter it, just poop. And then he reaches in and opens it on the other side. He undoes the lock. So he's like, yeah, 20 years in construction and installing doors. You learn a few things. And so he opens the door and you guys get inside. The office is pretty quiet. And you see off to the side that there is a lockbox. It's locked. But you see Brad and he's like, yeah, that's probably where they'll keep the keys, right there. This is going to be a tricky one to get in. Do you know any secrets, Benjamin? He's like, nah, not besides maybe taking a crowbar to it. I don't really know how to get into this one. Maybe we can take it off the wall and move it into another place and then try to get it open there.
Me and Parker could probably get it open.
Yeah, we can try picking
Sometime.
it again. This might be able to do something with that.
All right. You guys see if you can get that open. If not, we'll just tear it off the wall and take it into one of the apartments. Benjamin, let's see. I guess see if they've got a fire extinguisher here in the office. Usually that's something that's...
Oh, we already
in the
got
area.
that one. I think there might be one in the office itself, but we got one that was pretty close to it.
Okay. So you see Benjamin go into one of the office and he starts looking around. He comes back and he's like, nah, I couldn't find anything, guys. So go ahead and you find some paper clips and stuff in the office. So you can do that'll add a positive onto getting this lock undone. But you got to do logic and then a dexterity check.
All right, I think I'll do it, Andrew, because I can use focused, right, for this.
Yeah.
All right, and then I'll get the positive for that.
And I'll show him how, so that'll add one.
Yeah, you can kind of tell him.
Okay. Roll another one
You
then.
can get one more.
God damn it!
All right. You actually end up breaking one of the paper clips inside, and you can't get it back out.
Fuck.
Yeah.
How did I fail 4?
So
I got 4
you guys figure out how to get inside it yet?
Nah,
Nah.
we're still
Alright.
working on it.
You see
If we
Benjamin
can
walk
get it
over,
off the wall.
and he puts his hands on the either side of it, and you hear him kind of strain and pop, and he puts his leg up against the wall, and then he just kind of pops it off the wall. It kind of takes a little bit of the drywall, and he's like, all right, now we got it, so I guess we'll head on back and try to figure out how to get into it in the apartment.
All right.
All right, you boys ready?
Yeah.
We might want to bag up some of the stuff inside the vending machine.
Yeah.
Get a few more things.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll load up on that. So they start to grab a bunch of stuff. Branson, you go and sit down next to Matt. And Matt is real quiet, real pale. And he's got his arm kind of like in a makeshift sling with a bunch of bandages, and you can see red kind of through the bandages a little bit. And you see him, he's like, "It's my fault, bro. It's my fault that Quentin died."
I'm gonna do a charisma and be like, "Hey man, don't talk that way. You're just gonna
Alright.
make yourself feel even worse."
Do you add nurturing?
Yeah, I did.
You see him and he's like, I know. I know that I can't shake the feeling like if I hadn't have gotten hurt, things would have gone differently. I would have been there with you guys. You know, man, I feel terrible. But you can tell that he kind of, you consoled him a little bit. But oh, look at all these people. Look at how many people are hurt. You know, it's really starting to sink in. Like, is this the end of the world? You know, man?
I don't know, but it is pretty fucked up right now. Not gonna lie.
Right. I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. But it seems like I just can't turn off my head.
Yeah, don't go to sleep, man. I mean, try to get some like small naps, but don't go to sleep.
Yeah, I'll stay alert. So you guys show back up at the apartment complex. Or, sorry, at the Diane and Tara's apartment. Matthew, what are you up to?
I guess helping everyone's getting situated, like the people that just got here.
Yeah. So you kind of look around with them, and with the help of Tara, you guys kind of get some blankets and some towels at least to kind of make some pallets on the ground for people to kind of lay down and stuff like that. And you actually see a fight break out between two of the people over a blanket. Because since it's gotten darker, it's actually gotten kind of colder out instead of being kind of like a muggy heat. And you guys can start to feel kind of in the apartment complex. And they're fighting over it. And he says, "No, look, I had it in my hands. This is my blanket." And the other person's like, no, you didn't. It was next to mine, and now you have both of them. And you see that going on, Matthew.
Alright, I'm gonna go break it up, I guess.
Alright, so you kind of walk over. What do you say?
Huh. Actually, I don't know. Let me think.
Didn't think that far ahead.
Just came up and was like, "Hey,
So you're
guys,
just kind of standing there, and they kind of look up at you, and then they look back at each other, and he's like, "Look, just give me the fucking blanket, okay? Like, this one is not yours. I had this one the whole time." And he starts to stand up as the other guys like kind of like crouch down a little bit, and you see him stand up. What do you do, Matthew? And like other people are starting to kind of look over now.
I'm gonna ask, who got, damn it, who got the blanket first? Or...
And they both answer at the same time. I did.
Dude, Matthew, just call me."
Yeah, are we back yet, or are we still on our way
You
back?
guys are there's like less kind of people meandering around in the place where the wounded are at, and so you guys brought the keys into that area. So Parker, Andrew, Benjamin, and Brad, you guys are all in the other room, not in Tara and Diana's one, but in the one next to it. Branson, you're talking to Matt and Tara and Diane's. You can hear raised voices, so you can kind of go investigate if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
All right, so you see Matthew standing up, and then these two other guys just kind of arguing at each other.
Alright, I'm gonna confront the two people and be like, "Hey, calm it down. Don't lose your fucking sanity."
You see one of them, and he turns and he's like, "Look, this guy's trying to steal my blanket, and I appreciate the notion about humanity and stuff, but you're just a little kid. But yeah, give me back my fucking blanket."
I'm gonna tell the guy. I'm gonna use charisma and be like, "Don't tell me what the fuck to do."
That's gonna be
Intimidation.
yeah. So you won't be able to use nurturing and stuff like that. It's still charisma check, but
I'm gonna tell him back off, or I'll have to end it. Not like killing him, but just be like, "Hey, back it off."
Mm-hmm. All right. So you tell him to back it off and to quit, and he sees that you're armed, and he's like, "Okay, look, you can have the stupid blanket," and he hands it over to him, and then just kind of starts to stretch out with the blanket he had already. And the other guy picks up his pallet that he made and like moves it to a different part of the room.
Can I ask the guy who received the blanket and be like, hey, is there any more? Did you find any?
He's like, nah, we're fighting over pillowcases at this point. I mean, there's not a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, there's like, 11 of us, and this is not a bunch of things. Maybe if we went and got some of the shirts and things, but I don't think the owners here really wanted us to go in their closet. And you see Tara kind of standing in the closet a little bit. All right. So the other group, you guys get into the kind of the sick room. It's pretty quiet except for a moan occasionally or something along those lines. But you have this key box in front of you, and Benjamin's kind of looking it over. Brad's talking to Jonas out in the hallway. So what do you guys do?
I think I'll take a look at the hinges on the box.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to do a logic check to see if I can find any other ways to open it.
All right, you guys can both do that.
And
So
is focus? Do I get focused for this?
I'm gonna say no, just because you're looking over it.
All right.
So should I be making a logic roll?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead and make one too.
And would broad knowledge or situation assessor?
Situation assessor would work.
Damn.
So Andrew, actually, as you're kind of looking it over, off to the side, you actually kind of like feel, kind of like almost, it's kind of like a plastic, kind of like an insert underneath it, and you kind of peel it back a little bit, and you actually see a key underneath it, kind of like an extra that was like alongside the back of the key box, and you try it on the lock and actually end up opening it. And you see Benjamin, he's like, well, I'll be damned. Nice find. And inside you see a series of keys for all of the apartments, like extras or whatever, and they're all numbered and laid out and stuff.
Alright then. Here, take this key for the third room on this floor.
All right, Benjamin grabs it and he's like, okay, I'll get the door open. And
I'll go tell the people in the other room that we've got another, since there's more in there, that we've got another room open.
All right, so a few of the people are like, oh, and they like kind of grab some of their stuff that they had with them, and they kind of go out into the hallway. Benjamin opens up the other door, kind of slowly, and peeks in. He doesn't see anybody inside. It looks pretty empty, except for a single cat that's like meowing a whole bunch to be fed and also to be loved on. So people go inside and kind of get set up in there inside of the third apartment. So everything kind of cools down a little bit. The first watch to go out is Brad and a few other from the last camp, or from the other apartment, and they kind of go set up. Are the rest of you going to try to get some sleep?
Yeah.
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 All right, so go ahead and give me a vitality roll to see how well you sleep.
Would my physical traits come in handy? My high pain tolerance, helping me rest even with my cuts and stuff?
Don't you have a lack
cuts
of
aren't
sleep
bothering you
thing?
too much.
Andrew?
Yeah, I have a lack of sleep.
Okay. Yeah, so that'll be a negative that gets added onto yours, Andrew. Alright, I'm rolling for Andrew's negative. Boop. Okay. So, you just can't get to sleep, Branson. Like, you try, you're very tired, and it's mostly coming from the fact that you haven't eaten in a while. And all of the food is where you guys left at the MREs and stuff, inside of Tara and Diana's room. So you just can't get to sleep. Parker, you lay down and you're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep, and then you just go immediately to sleep. Andrew, you just kind of set up kind of a pallet, and you managed to go to sleep despite having problems sleeping earlier. It's actually kind of surprising because you figured that, your lack of sleep would carry over, but it seems like you're doing just fine. All right, Matthew, are you here?
Matthew?
Matthew!
So Matthew actually goes and beds down as well, and kind of like favors his shoulder, but manages to drift off. Let me adjust my time here. So you guys sleep for about 2 hours, and then Branson, you feel a tap on your shoulder, kind of like to kind of wake you up, even though you're not really asleep, and you kind of just like open your eyes, and you see that it is Brad, and he's like, "All right, I'm tagging you in, Honcho. You're up, boy."
Okay. Do you have a flashlight with you?
Yeah, and he hands you one, and you've got your shotgun.
Alright, cool.
So you kind of go off into the hallway. You can kind of see 2 other guys, kind of set up over there as well, and you actually see one of them smoking, just kind of like furiously sucking down a cigarette. And they're kind of just looking out through the windows on the hallways that are kind of like at the front door, kind of like watching there. There's a few other people that are kind of like in the hallway, just kind of quietly talking to each other. But for the most part, it's pretty quiet.
Alright. Gonna ask the guy, be like, hey, can you give me a smoke?
You see one of the guys who's like, "Are you even old enough, boy?"
Does it even matter now?
Yeah, I guess that's true. And he hands you one of his cigarettes, and he's like, "My name's Benjamin."
Hey. Nice to meet you. Name's Branson.
Nice.
My friends, I think you met them, Andrew and Parker.
Yeah. Man, this is some fucked up stuff, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if your friends told you or not, but we managed to get the keys to every single apartment unit in this complex here, so that should definitely help out.
Nice.
So, and he holds up his watch and he says, "It's 8:30 right now in old times. Sun should have started coming up 2 hours ago, but apparently we're not on the same schedule wherever we are now."
That's weird. Jesus. Taking over the weather and now the sun? God damn.
Right. But it's got me thinking, from what I could see, it looks like, we're not in the same state, possibly even the same planet. I don't know how this managed to happen or not. I actually managed to see a little bit closer. I was stuck in traffic whenever this happened, and all of a sudden I was looking forward down the street, about to take my turn to get onto 635, but as soon as I was taking my turn, I felt kind of a rising feeling in my stomach, and the next thing I know, there's just a forest in front of me. Fucking building comes down next to me because apparently, part of the building just wasn't there anymore, It's like somebody just took a knife and cut the entire city out and just put it in a different place,
Yeah. No, I was on the subway, man. It was weird. Those ant things? Man, we experienced those.
Little biters.
Yeah, but we saw this guy.
Down on the subway? You found him in the subway?
Yeah, but here's the weird part. When we were on the subway, when we were about to get on before all this shit happened, this guy, he started getting on there like he was worried, like he knew something happened, like, I don't know.
You don't think it could be a coincidence?
I think it has to do something with him, but he went and said that he had to get to the center of the city, so...
Center of the city? Well, we're not even close to the center of the city. I don't even think that the center of the city is here anymore.
Yeah,
we're up on 35 and west. I don't know what he means by center of the city. But, I don't know. Did he say center of the city?
Yeah.
So go ahead and give me a logic check.
Fuck.
You don't remember. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Maybe the center of the city is actually out in the forest, Maybe we gotta go out there. I don't know, but to be quite honest, I can't put all my eggs in one basket, I don't know this person. I didn't see what you saw. It could be the moment kind of getting to you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. All right. So you're on watch for a little bit longer. Are there any other things you want to talk about?
I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
He'd be like, so, what did you do before all this?
Yeah, I did some odd jobs here and there. I did a lot of construction work, basically installing stuff, like electrical things like that. Just run-of-the-mill construction things. Yeah. What were you guys up to get stuck in this shit show?
Yeah, we were at PAX, the video game thing.
Oh yeah.
We were coming back in on the train, go back to our hotel, and then all this shit show happened.
Ah, so you guys aren't even from here. That's gotta be rough.
Yeah. I would check on my family, but I'm fairly certain the phone lines are down.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get any reception at all. Landlines are dead too. Yeah, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
No shit.
Right. So, you guys kind of chat for a little bit longer, but eventually your shift ends, and you guys leave, and then Andrew, you get kind of a tap on your shoulder from Branson, who's kind of telling you that you're on shift now. And you kind of start when you wake up, but because you were sleeping pretty heavy, but you feel much better now that you've had some sleep. So you go out in the hall and you actually see this kind of stockier woman, and she's looking out. She's got she's got a 9mm in her hand, and she's kind of looking out, and she sees that you're on watch now as well. And you see her, and she's like, I can't believe it. You're so young out here, toting around a gun like that, but here we are, right?
I'm familiar with this gun. Help me kill a couple of those dragonflies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's certainly a strange thing, and you can see her. She's kind of fidgety a little bit. She's like, I just, it's just super weird, right? Monsters and things. I never thought that was gonna happen. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a religious guy?
I believe that there's something out there, but I'm not a real heavy practitioner.
What if it turns out that this is heaven or something, right? Well, hello, Andrew. Yep, it's certainly a topsy-turvy scene out there. Whenever the things started happening with me, I was just in the back of a cab, and just kind of going around, gonna go visit some friends and things like that, and things just kind of turned upside down, and the cab that I was inside of just got split in half. 1 second we're going along, and the next second it's just me in the back seat, right? And in front of me is just this forest laying out in front of me. And you know what? I wasn't even scared. It was actually kind of beautiful. Maybe this is the start of something fresh and new.
Yeah. You sound like you might need a smoke or a drink or something.
Nah, I don't do any of that. I'm just more into kind of the natural thing, right? But think about the promise. I'm not trying to think about all the people that got hurt out there or people that are hurt in here. But this is new. This is exciting, right?
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Right. So your watch kind of goes on for a little while, but then eventually someone comes and tells you, taps you on the shoulder or whatever, and you get relieved. And so now, are you with us, Parker?
I am back now.
Okay.
See, I mean.
So you're put on staff, and you're brought out there, and you actually see that it's Jonas who's there this time. He's kind of looking out. He's like, yes, hello, Parker. It seems that you and I are going to be on the schedule.
Yeah.
1 second. So you kind of go out there and you see Jonas, and he's looking out. He doesn't have any weapons or anything like that, but he's just kind of looking out. He sees you, and he's like, yes, well, very good on finding the keys. It was quite useful. Everyone seems to be a little bit more comfortable that I've noticed. How are you doing personally?
I'm fine, man. My leg's starting to feel a little better, I guess, now that I've got off it for a while.
Yes, that's definitely going to be something that you want to pay attention to. You don't want to overwork it, especially if we have to make a hasty getaway. Not to be glum or anything like that, but you know,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
right.
Yeah, I guess I did put a lot of work on it because, there was a dragonfly on top of a car earlier, and there was a family inside. We didn't know anyone was in there at the time, but I had snuck up even with my fucked up leg and took it out with the machete. Speaking of which, they do have weak points.
Ah, yes.
So you gotta look for things like that. There's one point that I hit, and it caused it to spasm and die practically.
And yes, that is quite a useful bit of information. Also, whenever I was relieved whenever I was brought on to watch, Benjamin mentioned that your friend Branson had mentioned that there was a man that you guys saw on the subway who seemed to be quite in a huff.
Yeah, while we were on the subway, he seemed like he knew something was about to happen. Because
Yes.
even after the subway went off, stopped, everyone was moving towards the exit following, and he went the other way and just took off sprinting. We followed him, and
Did you catch anything that he said?
let me think about it. Can I do the?
Yeah, you can do a logic check. Yeah.
Can I use focus since I'm trying to focus my memory and
Yeah,
think
that's
back?
fine.
Cool.
You're gonna really think about it, so it'll be okay. So the things that you remember hearing him say is, "I've got to get to the center. I've got to get to the center," and he didn't necessarily mention city. He said that he's got to move through the city. He's got to get to the center. So you don't exactly know what that is in reference to.
Yeah, he said something about getting to the center. So I'm assuming he didn't say town or whatever. And for what I understand, it's like someone cut a knife, just cut out all around us and just placed us somewhere else. So maybe he meant the center of whatever we are in now.
Yeah. So your friend mentioned that he had seen, he had seen somebody mentioning something that they seemed to know more about what was going on.
Yeah, he had said something about getting to the center, and I think he means the center of town. I don't think is really a part of what we've got anymore. He didn't say city. He said making his way to the center. So I think the center of whatever this is now.
Yes, interesting. It does seem like that is a good point. There might be some sort of origin or something along those lines. It appears that I'm not sure exactly on the radius of what we're working with, but it appears that we're about 2 miles out from the fringe of this new forest. But I'm not quite sure how far it extends into the center, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And even if we were to move, we have so many people and wounded with us that I'm not quite sure that we can make the journey with everybody.
I tend to agree. For now, we need to rest, and I think another important thing to do, we need vehicles and transports. We've got a motorcycle, but
Yeah, so I was thinking the same thing, but since the streets are as clogged as they are with cars, since it was around rush hour traffic that this occurred, seems like most of the streets are pretty locked down, but the alleyways and such seem to be a little bit more traversable. Another problem that I've noticed is that though things have died down as far as like street chaos, there are still many people that are trapped. We've seen a few messages laid out through windows, basically people asking for help. It seems that a lot of people are in dire straits. I'm not sure how to proceed, if that makes any sense, because we have no paramedics, we have no police officers that are trying to get the situation on lock. It seems like for the most part we're on our own here.
Well, I think we have to help as many people as we can.
Yeah, I agree, but we can't lose ourselves to it as well. I think it's illogical to think that we could save everyone. We're only
I
so
agree
many
as well.
people.
We can't save everyone, but we need to help where we can.
Right. And you see him, he kind of sighs a little bit. Is there anything that you wanted to talk to Jonas about?
Not really.
All right. So it's about it's actually 12:30 now. So it's like a little afternoon, and it's still dark outside. So it seems like, as far as like day-night cycle, things have kind of gotten swapped up. But it's during your watch, Parker, that you actually see a sun coming up, or at least it's getting lighter outside, and you can hear more kind of like stirring outside. Some of the gunfire has picked up in the distance, and you can occasionally hear like a squeal or two outside, but it's still kind of like early morning.
I want to mark down the time that the watches say that it is,
All right,
and
so
see if we can figure this out.
it's around. It started getting dark for you guys probably around 6 p.m. You guys' time,
All right.
and then it looked like the sun came up at around 12:30 p.m. So since the sun's coming up, everyone kind of starts to stir a little bit more. There's more talking and things along those lines. The rest of you, are you guys that are not on watch, are you guys gonna try to sleep in more and kind of recover more strength, or are you gonna try to get up now, kind of take inventory?
I'm gonna eat.
Okay.
I was
So,
wondering if we could skip time, like by a week, something like that, so we can heal our wounds.
Right. So the thing with it is you guys are kind of getting more into a place to where time dilation is going to be a thing. The way that I'm going to measure that is the amount of supplies that you guys have. And then I'll kind of do some rolls behind the scenes to tell you if there are any major updates. But I need the way that I'm going to dilate time generally is within 3-day increments or so. So it kind of goes into the day. The dragonflies are much more active outside, but it seems like you guys' neck of the woods is a little bit more quiet. Occasionally, you can hear a scream, kind of out in the distance, gunfire, of course, and things along those lines. But it's quiet out there. As far as supplies, you guys have kind of general food items around, as well as the MREs. Everyone seems to be pretty hungry now that they've kind of gotten actual sleep. And they're kind of realizing now that the action has kind of settled down more of their basic needs. One of the things that's happened is that the toilet in Tara and Diane's, as well as the third room that you guys opened, are clogged up and gross. And people have just been peeing in the bathtub, and as well as defecating and stuff like that. So it's gotten pretty gross in the bathrooms. And you see Jonas, Brad's kind of talking to him and stuff like that. Jonas is like, right, well, I'm not quite sure how to handle this, but it seems like sanitation is going to become a thing quite quickly since we have no running water. That's another thing. Many individuals are thirsty and want just straight up water when only we can offer them is a lot of the soft drinks that we found and such. But I don't know. Now that we have more manpower, I believe that we can search the apartment probably more so than you guys were capable of doing originally.
Yeah, we only searched 2 or 3 rooms. We never got the opportunity to search the rest.
Yeah.
So go ahead and all of you roll a d20, and I'll roll one for Matthew if he's not here.
He's not.
Yeah, just roll a d20.
I rolled the wrong one.
Yeah, it's a d12. Actually, 2. Oh no, yeah, okay. That's right. So you guys go and kind of look through the apartment. It looks like the cane ants are not around again. for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like, even though it's morning, that they've kind of come back out. It's starting to get warmer again. It's not as cold as it was before, like it was during the nighttime. So you guys search the apartments using the keys. You actually find a couple that was in one of the apartments they were just kind of like keeping to themselves. When they heard the door opening, they hid under the bed in their room. But when they saw that it wasn't anything to be worried about, they have since joined the rest of the rest of the kind of like survivors or whatever. Now that you guys have more doors and such open, more rooms are accessible to people. The only problem is that a few of them, like the windows have been busted in, and it looks like dragonflies have kind of like feasted in there and then left back through the window. And that's kind of the case for a few of the apartments. It's a very kind of gory scene. About 6 of the apartments have human remains inside, and what do you guys do about that?
Clean it up. Like,
I figured we should just lock them down and search them. Then, since the window's already busted, we can't really use them. Just lock
good
them
point.
down.
Yep. All right. Are the rest of you okay with that? Or are you going to try?
Well,
to clean
actually, we could clean it, and we could turn those into like defensive positions, maybe, because like Andrew's a sniper, and he could have multiple rooms.
All right, I could see that.
All right.
Not
So
to
there's
mention, we need to clean them up to be able to get things like mattresses and
Yeah.
stuff that we could
Yeah.
use.
Okay, let's clean them up then. And then we'll do a real search of them.
And we should burn the bodies
Yeah.
for sanitation.
all right. So you find the human remains, and kind of the viscera involved with that. In one of the rooms, of course, you have the sheet with covering the old lady who hung herself, and so you guys kind of take care of that and kind of move some of the bodies and cover them with sheets in the hallway. Brad's like, yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. There's got to be some way that we can burn the bodies, at least for sanitation purposes, but at the same time, it might just be easier to put them outside of the apartment and not attract as much attention. I don't know where we'd exactly burn them at,
Alright, we could
Yeah.
put them out some ways down the streets. Maybe put some chemicals and stuff with them so that any bugs or anything that try to eat them will get poisoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like your vigor and everything like that, but, we don't know much about these creatures or not. It could be like sugar to them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it would really. We don't know what harms them, so chemicals may not be the best option. It might make them better, stronger.
Right.
Well, maybe could we make some traps maybe under the bodies, or like if the dragonflies come or something?
You want to bait a trap? Like, are you trying to catch one?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know about you, but a couple of the people out there, they see you tampering with those bodies, they're gonna think pretty ill towards you.
I tend to agree. I think we should take them out of ways if we can and burn them away from the apartment, maybe in an alleyway or something, or at the very least just take them out. But messing with them in general will make people think ill of us, and we can't really have that right now.
Alright.
We should look for some flammable chemicals under the sinks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think taking inventory of the building would be a pretty good idea. So kind of right now where I'm looking, quite a few areas on the upstairs that overlook the street. That sounds pretty useful to you, Andrew. I think having guards, or at least someone watching the doors at all times, is another good one. We've seen a few individuals moving around outside that appear to be armed as well. They didn't seem hostile or anything, but I know from what Tara told me that you guys recently lost one of your original crew to somebody. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it happens. He was a good person though.
but I don't think we should turn away anybody. We just gotta be careful, right?
I
Yeah,
agree. Maybe we
could
could watch them and see if they are friendly or not.
maybe
Something
like
like that.
spray paint a sign on like a nearby apartment building, like that other apartment building. That says like armed survivors, and then put a couple dudes to help watch the area.
Well, dude,
And-
if we do that, there's a possibility of marauders coming, because then they're gonna know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is as far as looters and such, generally they work in pairs, like smaller pairs. I think that they probably wouldn't mess with us because we have so many people, or at least that's what I understand from what I've experienced. I used to be a wartime photographer, so I've been in shit like this before. Carried a piece on me and such. But as far as looting goes, they'll probably hit a few of like the easiest places like pharmacies and such to get their fixes. But eventually it's gonna start turning towards supplies and things. But right now we got the numbers. I'm telling you that Jonas guy, I met him only 6 hours ago, but he gets it, man. He told me that he used to do corporate management and that this was his thing to organize people, and it appears that that's what he's doing. So I think we've got a leg up on anybody in the area as far as kind of working out a structure, because that's what people really need. When you lose the structure, you compromise the whole system.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also think maybe once we finish taking inventory and heal up a little bit, we should probably investigate getting supplies as well. Extra ammo, more weapons.
We
Yeah.
need to hit a supermarket, get food and water.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
We also need to think about long-term things. I know it's a little hard right now, but there's been a fire burning. It's smoldering right now, but things like that usually don't stay. And unless we address that fire, there's a chance that if the wind picked up, it could take it towards us. We don't need that right now. Also, I'm not sure, but there's a police academy about 4 miles down the road. That's something that we could maybe check out. Maybe if they've got enough cops kind of dressed in the blue, setting up, maybe like better resources and such, things that we can't provide. That's a thing to think about as well.
Yeah. I don't know if it rains here, but maybe if we can get something to catch, it's gotta rain. Surely.
Yeah, water's going to be a big problem. That's actually the biggest complaint right now, and we're only going to last so long on soda and such. So,
And if we go to the supermarket, people will probably not have gotten like the distilled water that you can't drink, so we could grab that and add salt to make it into drinkable water.
yeah, that's true. That's a good one.
Yeah, is there any like supermarkets like Costco's around here? Like, the big ones.
Or even a Walmart.
Yeah,
They probably have some weapons or something locked away that people didn't get to.
Corner
there's
stores.
actually a Costco that's about a mile from this position. So many blocks away, and close by, actually, in kind of a shopping center that located there. There's an academy, which I think might be able to provide us with stuff, but it's a bit of a ways away.
Well, we've got the motorcycle. We could go in a small team and scout it out first before we waste the effort to go there.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe meet up with some other pockets of, people. Another thing I was thinking to kind of solve the water problem is, you guys said that you were down on the subway when this happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the ground integrity is fine. Like, most of the stuff underground is good. It's just severed, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking we might be able to take advantage of some of those fire hydrants because all of their water is localized and pressured below them in kind of a pocket. That might be something we can take advantage of, maybe to get some fresh water,
And we can
Yeah,
use the
that's a
tunnels
good idea.
instead of going up ground where the dragonflies can find us.
Yeah, moving underground, I think using the subway system is interesting. But I remember hearing that a lot of those cane ants were down there. I don't know if they're still down there or not, because none of those little buggers have shown up just yet. I don't know what scared them off or what, but something to think about.
Yeah.
All right. So what you guys need to do now is go to the items, open the parcels, and go to Diane and Tara's apartment.
I'm not seeing it under items.
You have to click parcels at the top left. Yeah, and this has just like kind of the ongoing thing. You guys are down to 12 MREs, so I'm going to update that. A lot of people had some this morning, and a lot of the water, like bottles of water and stuff, were used to kind of like wash it down, but also to activate the MREs. Are you guys familiar with how they work?
Yeah, you use
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it heats them up and stuff. So people were doing that. You guys are basically out of water, except for like a case of it that's kept in the injured people's room, which they're using to, like wash wounds and kind of keep things fresh. But that's purely for medical. But a lot of the people are complaining about not having any water to drink and talking about, going and getting it themselves, like going out there. And actually, as you guys are talking, you hear shouting down the hallway, kind of at one of the apartments. And you see Brad, and he's like, "Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good."
I'm gonna take my jacket from the inventory, so
Okay,
you
can just.
So we should rush on down there and stop whatever's happening.
So you guys go down there, and you see somebody with a quarter bottle of water, and you see it's a woman, and she's like, "Look, this is my bottle of water. I've had it the whole time. I used it to get the MRE going, and I just, this is mine. I brought this myself. This isn't from the supplies." And someone's like, "No, I saw you take it, and you were told to use half to get the MRE going, and then you were told to give the other half to another person so they get theirs going. We have to ration this stuff. You can't just hold on to it." And she's like, "No, this is my bottle of water. I had this. I had it with me since the very beginning." And they're arguing with each other.
Can I calm it down with my charisma and be like, hey, let's calm it down here?
You gonna try to calm down both of them?
Yeah.
All right, you'll need 2 successes.
And I get the bonuses from Andrew and Matthew, and not Matthew, Parker.
Yeah, because I'm gonna help him.
Yeah, you can do Parker. That's fine.
So that's 4 dice, right?
Not Andrew. You can do 3.
Damn it. There we go.
All right. So you got 2 successes. You kind of talk to him, and get him to realize that it's her own personal water, and you actually give a little bit out of the water bottle that you have to the other guy, and it kind of satisfies him there. So if you had a water bottle in your inventory, you don't anymore. If you didn't, that's fine. We'll say that you had one, but you managed to kind of pacify the situation. And,
yeah, I didn't have any.
Yeah.
I had an empty one.
You see Brad, and he's like, "Yeah, that's going to happen more and more as supplies start to dwindle. We have to be careful because, as people get backed into a corner, they tend to turn away from their more human side,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I was thinking we should wait before we go get supplies, but now that I think about it, we're pretty low. We should probably see about getting something now.
And also, we need to get you supplies for your leg, Parker. Actually, your ankle, but still.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, it starts to throb again. And so you can do a willpower, but this time you're going to need 2 successes.
Oh, hell. And do I get... Nah, fuck it. I'm just going to take the pain pill.
Okay. So yeah, make sure you update that in your inventory. Alright, so things are kind of, like, you guys are low, especially on water. Like, food isn't super bad right now, but most of the food to get it going requires water. So at this point, you guys can kind of talk about who you want to bring with you on, like, special missions. Like if you're just going to seek water, whether it's the fire hydrant or some other means. If you want to go explore a little bit more, who are you going to bring with you? Who's going to stay? Things like that. For the most part, you guys can kind of feel that Jonas is the one who people are kind of looking to kind of like solve stuff. And he's turning to you guys because he doesn't really see you guys as like being younger or whatever. He just sees you as people who have experienced, things and know more about what's going on than some of these other people who have just been hiding this whole time. So he listens to your input with a lot of things. So you guys kind of have to decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to convince Jonas to, like, kind of set up a mission with you guys to go get more supplies or what, but talks amongst yourself. And if you want to talk to a specific person, just let me know.
I feel like our main thing is to get supplies, so we should go to a Costco. Because Costco also sells weapons, don't they?
No.
No,
That they did.
I think we should go to the Academy and the Costco because they were close by. I can use the motorcycle and take someone with me. Either Andrew or Branson, and then the rest of us could probably investigate using the fire hydrants for water.
We could go on, like, one of the bigger missions, but I also recommend you send a couple of guys to look for, like, corner stores and stuff.
Yeah.
Or look through nearby apartments.
Yeah. So we should tell that to Jonas then.
Alright. Yes.
Hey, we're gonna go get supplies. Like, the Costco and Academy. Like, we're running out on food and water, and we need more ammo. But can you send some guys out to find some corner stores and stuff like that as well, and go to your apartment?
We also what was the guy's name who we were talking to just a minute ago?
Brad.
With Brad's help, he came up with an idea. Maybe we could use the fire extinguisher or fire hydrants in it.
Yes, quite clever. I believe the reservoirs are below themselves and self-contained, so they wouldn't have been severed by this transportation that we've gone through. Yes, so that's a good idea. The only problem that I can see with that is controlling the flow, because if it's done incorrectly, it'll spew and attract all sorts of attention to you guys on the street level, which would be bad for everyone involved.
Yeah, maybe we'll hold off on that one till we can get something to control the flow then.
Right. Well, let's see. He looks at his watch. It's been nearly 24 hours, 28 hours since the occurrence. Should we wait for darkness again to attempt this? It appears that the dragonflies are less active during that time.
It depends. If we take the motorcycle to go to the Costco and Academy, which are far away, it doesn't matter. It's going to make noise. So it doesn't matter when we do that.
Honestly, I feel like we should go on foot. I mean, taking the vehicle would be nice, but it would still cause attention even during the day. It could also cause marauders as well, and not to mention the dragonflies and domes.
And a motorcycle isn't good for carrying a whole lot.
Yeah, so I would have to agree with Branson on this one. I believe going on foot would be better, as you can navigate the alleys easier, but the problem, of course, is bringing supplies back, because pallets of water tend to be quite heavy. You might be able to procure a wheelbarrow or maybe a dolly, and then that makes things easier.
Or a shopping cart.
Yeah, there'll be tons of those at them.
You should also take some oil, so we can lubricate the wheels so that they don't squeak as much as they tend to.
Yeah.
Right. Also, we need to discuss what we're going to do with the bodies. We actually lost Frederick last night. I didn't know his name until this morning, and when I looked at his wallet, but he passed away during the night.
Alright.
We haven't fully decided. We know we need to take them out. We're not sure if we should take them out and burn them, not for sanitation and to give them somewhat of a burial, or if we should just take them out and just set them out there to attract less attention to ourselves.
Right. I mean, I believe that we should be as careful with the dead as possible, but the problem exists that, yes, finding fuel or an accelerant to burn them is going to be tricky, and not to mention the attention that it may cause. Gentlemen, we may have to just place them as carefully as possible within the back of the apartment. Maybe in one of the higher rooms. I don't know, but
there is that trash can that's down there, like the big dumpster.
Yes, but if you choose to go that way, and if it is the best method, I would say do it. But just make sure that that you aren't seen doing it, because some people may not understand, despite the situation.
Yeah, doing anything like that with the dead, it's gonna cause people they're not going to like that at all.
terms of burning them, we could use household cleaners and stuff.
Yeah, like
Stuff we couldn't really use for a whole lot at the moment, except burning stuff. And
maybe we
true.
could use some type of acid.
Right.
No.
Well, let me know if you need anyone to help you. Right now, I'm trying to work out a schedule as far as daytime shifts, watching the door. I'm also taking inventory of the weapons and our food throughout the day. So just please let me know so that I can adjust the schedule accordingly.
All right.
Okay.
Should we go on the thing now and go get supplies now, or should we wait?
Yeah, are you guys gonna wait till it starts to get darker? Are you gonna go now?
I think if we go there now, we can get all the stuff and then come back during the night.
Yeah, because it's supposedly it's a distance, so the sooner the better.
Yeah, and we don't want to come back during the day, so.
Right. Who are you thinking of taking with you? And he kind of, as he says that, he kind of looks. Are you here right now, Matthew?
No, he's not here.
Okay.
No, he's not even in the mumble anymore.
He kind of looks down at your foot, or at your ankle, Parker, and he's like, "Are you sure you're up to this? I mean, it is quite a ways away, and you're not exactly the most mobile right now."
If I take my crutches, I should be fine.
Right.
And if we get in a fight, I can drop it, and this won't be the first time I've fought on my ankle like this.
Right, but if you want any chance of it getting better, you've got to rest it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that you want to help, and I understand that, and you've been out on the streets, as we all have, but you've faced these things, and you've killed them. But at the same time, you know, if you go down out there, there's a chance that you could take down others with you.
Yeah. Where's Benjamin? I'm gonna ask if he wants to go.
He's a tougher sort.
So Benjamin walks over and he's like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Hey, do you want to come with us to get some supplies?
Right now I'm really swamped with working on the barricades and the like, but I don't know, I wouldn't mind getting out there. You know, despite what's going on, you know, I want to help these people. A lot of them are not doing so well. We got to figure out the water thing.
Your construction skills are pretty useful in building barricades. We could get some other guys.
Yeah, can you ask Brad if he wants to come?
Ask who?
Brad.
You see Jonas, and he's like, right now I need Brad to, I guess, kind of work with the others, and he's kind of working as my foreman right now. That's actually how I know him. I've used him as a contractor many times and setting up new real estate locations. He's quite well at motivating the people and pulling them to his cause. You guys could take Brad if it was during the night, but just know that he's quite good at managing people, if I don't say so myself.
Okay, well, let's take Tara then.
Yeah.
No, maybe some of those guys who were fighting over supplies.
Yeah, there's like 6 other people that have been on like watch and stuff like that that you guys can kind of pick from. And you see Jonas, he kind of goes and like leads you to him, and he's like, and one thing you guys notice with Jonas is he doesn't forget people's names. And so he's like, "This is Scott, this is William, and this is Sarah, all of which have firearm experience as well as other skills themselves, but it seems like they would be willing to go out on a mission with you instead of staying inside of the complex."
Alright. Can I still ask Tara if she wants to come?
Yeah, you can still ask Tara.
Alright, cool.
I'm gonna ask these people, like, anybody familiar with lockpicking and stealth and such?
Alright.
I got stealth covered. I'm going no matter fucking what.
Alright, let me add these guys real quick. Okay. Alright, so you have William, you have Scott, and you have Sarah. And Sarah, you've already talked to before, so she knows who you are. She was the person you were on watch with. So, who do you want to talk to first, Andrew?
I'm going
William or
to
Sarah?
ask the group. Anybody familiar with lock picking and other stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't exactly like lock picking, not so much, but I do know how to use a lockjaw, or a slimmy, if that's what you want to call them, Slim Jim. I can get cars open pretty good.
All right then, that'd be pretty helpful.
Then, by any chance, are you also good with hot wiring? Or
No, not so much on the hot wiring side. Most of the cars nowadays you can't hot wire. But if anything out there is like before 1960, I think I could probably get something going.
all right,
That'd be pretty helpful. Although the streets are pretty congested, so might not be able to use a car.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys know that if things go bad out there, it's nothing personal, but I'm looking out for myself, right? Like, yeah, I mean, not like I'm gonna run away or anything in those lines,
no,
but
I get it. I
yeah.
get it. But
I
I mean,
just don't want you to take it personally.
no, just as long as you don't shoot any of our own or run away, I think you'll be fine.
Right. I mean, you gotta look out for yourself,
Yeah, I get that.
You see William, he kind of steps forward and he's like, no lockpicking experience here, but I mean, done a lot of work with pipes and stuff. I know that pretty well. Might be able to work on some of maybe if we went to the Costco and you guys found some supplies and stuff, I could maybe lay out some pipes to maybe take care of the whole bathroom problem everybody's having.
Yeah,
All right.
you should speak with Brad and figure out some ideas on how to handle sanitation.
But before you go, what's your gun experience so at least we know?
Yeah. I mean, I used to live out in the country with my family, and occasionally we would eat, shoot, as well as go turkey hunting and stuff like that. But most of my experience actually comes from using a bow, but that's a little bit harder to find, But I know my way around a rifle.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could see if Andrew can make you a bow.
Or we might be able to find one. We'll be going to an academy as well.
That is true.
Be surprised if they don't have a bow.
I don't know how well a bow would work, but I mean, I'm a pretty good shot. I was best junior. I won a junior archery competition when I was younger.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're accurate. Even those dragonflies have a weak point. I took one out with a couple strikes with the machete before it
Yeah.
even could do anything.
That's true, and if they're sleeping like they do normally at night, it wouldn't be too hard to dispatch one. And also, arrows are a lot easier to recover than bullets,
Yeah.
Alright, well that sounds good. And he's a bigger guy. He's like a taller guy. And then you see Sarah, and she's like, weapon experience, 9mm. I can hit the center of the target at 50 yards. Pretty good with that. I took a class once. It was kind of fun. Just decided to keep up with it. Do it on the weekends. I don't know. I like small guns. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Something about them. I like the kick.
Alright, what do you think you could benefit from going on this? Maybe
Right.
helping us.
Well, I mean, I help out. I could see some of the creatures out there. I'm really interested in seeing how they work and how they get around. What's up with them, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
What was your job before all this, just so we know?
I mean, I did some stuff. I did, I was a psychic for a time, but the power since left me. Some odd jobs here and there,
Okay.
Alright.
Your skills might be pretty helpful in keeping watch while a lot of us are gone.
All right. So do you guys want to take all of them with you?
Maybe not the pipes guy.
Yeah, we need him for construction. I want to ask him if he can lay out a list of just the pipes he thinks he's gonna need.
Yeah, I can write up something for you guys. It'd be a little difficult because a lot of the names are, and a lot of the way that like pipes look, they can be real similar to one thing.
I get it.
being
I used
similar
to work.
another.
I used to be assistant with a guy who worked on pools and stuff, so I kind of understand.
Yeah,
I've
but
done
I
some
mean,
plumbing
as
myself.
far
before.
as like the things that I might need, maybe just go and kind of explore the PBC options. That'll probably be the lightest thing for you guys. Not super good for long term, but at least we can catch some of the runoff and I can figure out something possibly. But yeah, some PBC, grab a bunch of different types, lengths, elbows, and the like.
All right.
Alright.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna go ask Tara now. She wants
Okay.
to join.
So you go into the apartment. She's actually you see her. She's cutting up some stuff from an MRE and like putting it on a plate and like kind of handing it to people. She's kind of doing that, and she's like, "Yeah, what can I do you for?"
Hey, do you want to go with us to get some supplies? Probably get you out of doing this for a while.
What, go out there?
Yeah.
No, are you crazy? I'm not going out there. I mean, I know supplies are low, but Diane's already swamped with all this stuff, and all these people, like, if I'm being honest, like, they're on the fringe of losing it, Like, I don't know. I feel like if we went out there and we came back, there might be nothing to come back to.
Well, hey, Matthew's here. You can take care
All
of
right.
it.
Well, I mean, if you want to stay and if you think you'll be more benefit here, helping out, keeping a roof over here, then yeah, we should have enough to get enough people already to get a fair amount of supplies.
All right. Well, I mean, be careful out there and such, and if you guys don't come back, then it was fun.
Yeah.
Damn.
Really made me laugh on that one.
All right. So, are you guys taking Scott and Sarah with you?
Yeah.
Let's just take Scott. I don't know about
I think
Sarah.
the more people we have, the more supplies we can bring back.
Sarah's a bit panicky.
Yeah, let's take Scott. Just Scott.
All right.
All right. I was just thinking, if we take Sarah as well, since we're not taking the pipe guy, that's 5 shopping carts. One of them's already gonna filled with pipes.
Yeah, but Sarah tends to be like she's gonna panic. And she was like, she
Yeah.
only did it for a year. The
Right.
shooting.
Maybe we can have her instruct some of the people who aren't good with guns and show them proper form or something.
She seems crazy, Parker. I don't
I
like
know.
that.
But
No.
know,
I mean, she could probably
She could go and watch.
show people a little bit about handguns.
yeah, I mean, just so they understand a little bit more than they already
Well,
know.
there's already Bradford and then William and all them.
No,
She only did it for a year.
I know. I'm just saying, the more people we have teaching other people how to use guns, even if it's just some small things, the better the group is.
Well, we already have enough people.
Okay, fine.
Ransom.
Fuck it.
Damn it.
God, fine. Shut the fuck up. Let's go.
Are you guys? I mean, like, you guys can charisma roll it to see who
No,
pulls it
I don't
out.
want to do that.
So,
That would probably end in flames for
as
me.
you guys are chatting, you actually see Jonas come over and he has his notebook out. He's like, we've come a bit to a problem here. Another one of the residents, his name is Kyle. Kyle Sharp, to be exact. He doesn't like the fact that you are the only ones that appear to be armed, and he believes that we should, much like the supplies that we've gathered, we should also have more or less an armory to where others can access the weapons themselves.
Yeah, we're gonna
in case
bring
of
back more
emergency.
Well,
Nice.
we're going out right now. If we can find extra weapons, then I agree that's a good idea. But we
Okay.
don't have enough for everyone.
Uh,
I mean,
to do
it's
that.
most likely not going to be guns for the people in there that don't know how to use them. Most likely baseball bats.
If there's anybody who knows their way around mechanical and stuff, we have some disassembled guns that they could fix up, and some manuals to the guns.
Right. That's certainly a thing that I can put Brad on. I know that he's good with those things. But the problem goes deeper here, gentlemen. Some of the people here see you as being greedy and holding on to all of the weapons as to protect yourself, and that the weapons should be shared amongst everyone. So the way that it looks, they want you, of course, to go out armed, but they want you to leave a majority of your weapons behind in case the building is attacked. Does that make any sense?
I
Yeah, I have
understand that. I can leave one of my pistols.
I can leave
them
my
pocket knife.
I left my pocket knife already, and I could hand
we're
over one of
we're
my
quite
pistols.
stacked up on knives, so I wouldn't worry about that.
My,
The houses had
Beretta and Beretta rounds.
All right. So
I
anything that
feel-
you're leaving behind, put in the Tara and Diane item parcel.
I'm
Can
actually
we
It's
edit
set
that?
to read only.
Yeah, I don't think we can edit that.
Okay, so let's see. I can do it. So what's the first thing getting left behind?
I'm gonna leave one of my 9mm. It has 3 rounds in it.
There's. Okay. All right. Next one.
My Beretta manual, my Beretta, and all 13 of my Beretta rounds.
I for some reason have revolver bullets, but not a revolver. So
I think that
I'm
got
gonna
handed off
leave
at some
my
point.
1 bullet.
All right.
And I'm not leaving anything.
Okay. So he's like, all right, that should do. That'll probably assuage things a little bit. There seems to be a bit of a power struggle right now on who should be calling the shots. And of course, like, we're in a position to where, you know, there's no democracy here. No one has been voted in or anything like that. So of course there's going to be some clashing. But I'll do my best to keep the unrest down, keep people from acting in more malicious ways.
One thing that'll be good in helping decrease the tensions is sending a couple of the people who are getting rowdy on small missions and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe check some of the. We've obviously checked this building, but there are more buildings around.
Yes.
They're sure to
Well-
have some supplies.
Besides you, Sarah, William, Brad, and Benjamin, there aren't very many others that are even willing to leave the building. Some are even so afraid of what's going on they refuse to leave the room. So it appears that most of the forward progress is going to be managed by you few. I don't know if I feel comfortable with forcing anyone out into something. I don't even think I could.
Yeah.
Did you get
Yeah.
them working on like barricades and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're getting rowdy. Find something for them to do and occupy their attention.
Yeah, get for
My
like
thoughts
the people who
exactly.
are really tense. Maybe find a board game or book. Just get people to talk.
We have quite a bit of reading material that we've managed to
There's
find.
on the second floor, guy named Steven. He's not alive anymore, but he had like a lot of books on guns and stuff. And he
Yes.
also had some. There's like a couple weapons probably left
Yes,
somewhere in
Scott located that library. We managed to take down some of the books for those who were interested to read. A few of them are quite shell-shocked, though, and are mostly keeping to themselves. But anyone willing to work, I'm putting to work. But as of now, there are quite a few people who are just sitting on their hands waiting to be rescued.
there. Yeah.
Alright.
All right. Okay, so are you guys going to go during the day and then come back during the night, or are you going to wait till it's nighttime and then go?
I think we should go during the day and come
During the
back. at night.
day.
All right. So let me...
Wait. Just before we start that, would
mhm.
my cut up have already disappeared since it's been a while?
Yeah,
Rest
Yeah,
and
shit.
let's
stuff?
go. I'm going to review some of you guys'... Do any of you have a single day one?
Yeah,
I
my
do.
cup.
Okay. Yeah, cuts have basically kind of healed up. Not fully. They're just kind of scabbed now. Like, they won't open if you accidentally turn the wrong way or whatever.
So
you
does
can do
it
that.
go away, or we just put scab?
You can put yeah, it'll go away mechanically, but you can put in your notes if you like got a scar on your face, or like I know Parker, your ear got cut up pretty bad that one time.
Oh yeah, but you know, more pressing concerns. Crushed ankle.
Yeah,
Kind of.
but like you can keep notes on like how your character, like what they look like over time, like any scars they gather and stuff like that. Alright.
So far, my appearance is handsome, small scars on arms, well endowed. Oh, and also my race is not human, it's Ron Jeremy.
Oh my god.
Can you make it to where we can edit other people's things so I can fix Andrew's?
No, I don't have that.
Damn.
I don't have that power. But
Damn.
if that's what's going on inside
Jesus,
Andrew's head,
Andrew.
then
You're
But,
going crazy.
I think his stress is already maxed out in mental.
So make sure that you guys are traveling, you know, like you have the things that you want to take with you. If you take too much stuff, you know, I'll give you a penalty on like running for long distances and things, or certain activities could be made harder by having a bunch of junk on your back or stuff like that. So make sure that you're running pretty light on things, and that you also bring ammunition with you, and make sure that if there's ammunition you want to bring with you that's in one place, that you update it in your inventory and let me know so I can get rid of it in the other place. Go ahead and just take a second.
I've got some antibiotics I had forgotten to put up. I think I'm gonna put 8 of the 10 up.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Keep 2
you
in
didn't put
case we
the
need it.
painkillers and stuff that I brought back. And also,
Oh, yeah,
I
I've
have 5
Nothing
MREs in my backpack.
Yeah, the 5 MREs are from when you guys carried them back down. I've already actually added those in here, so you can just delete those out of your inventory because they just got
Okay.
added to the.
Yeah.
And what about the numbing agent? I think we took that out as well. I just forgot to delete it.
So you guys are taking the numbing stuff. I don't see. it
No,
in the,
no, I just forgot. I think I forgot to delete it.
Oh, off of
Yeah, from when we got it for Ethan.
Oh yeah, I think I took care of that. I don't see it in the Diana.
Yeah, I had it in mine.
Yeah, you can just delete it out of yours then because you handed it off. All right. So once that's good. Okay. So it's daytime. Quiet on the streets. Pretty barren. From what you guys can see from the window, you see a couple of the guys on guard or whatever. They kind of move some stuff out of the way, so that you can get to the door. You guys kind of all packed up. You guys decided to take Scott and Sarah, or just Scott?
Scott.
Okay. And you see Sarah, and she's like, well, fine, I'll just go work on something else. That's fine. You know, if you guys don't want me, that's cool. I
Like,
get it.
could you maybe give some pointers to
Yeah,
people
I was-
how to use handguns?
Yeah, I forgot to
Um,
mention that to you. I was thinking you could teach some people how to use guns, so more people are experienced.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a very good teacher, so I'm gonna go off and just kind of draw and sketch. You know, now that everyone's dead or going to die, no one really cares about their walls anymore. So I'm just gonna go draw up some stuff on the wall. I've always kind of dreamed about that, you know, kind of getting outside of my lease agreement, you know, things like that. So I'm gonna go do that instead. You guys have a fun time. And she just kind of goes off.
I turn and Parker and Andrew go, and exactly. And go, yeah, I was right.
Yeah, I was actually about to feel
I
like
go
Branson
into the
get beat
nearest
me on this.
apartment, get a pillow, and smother Branson.
A fight breaks out.
I cut Branson at the knees with my makeshift machete.
Jesus. That just turned fucking violent fast. Alright, let's
Alright.
just go. to the
Anyways,
place
moving
now.
on.
So
We
you
leave.
guys, where are you guys going? The Costco first, or the Academy?
Go to the,
I think we should go to the academy first.
well, I
Is
think
there-
we
which
should
one-
go to the
which one's
Costco so we at least get the food.
You guys they're in the same shopping complex, but I'm just curious.
Maybe
Alright.
we could split up when we get there or something to cover
Yeah.
more ground.
Maybe not.
No.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of people with us.
That's horror movie
Some-
logic.
Yeah, that is horror movie logic. This isn't a horror movie, but whatever.
Same
Alright.
thing.
So they let you guys out. It's you, Branson, Andrew, Parker, and Scott. Matthew is just kind of hanging out in the apartment. He's helping Brad do some stuff since his arm is fucked up. So you guys get on the street and you see Scott, and he's like, "Yeah, so do you guys know how we're gonna get there?"
Oh, we're gonna walk. It
Yeah,
attracts the
I
least
get
amount
that,
of
but
attention.
like, what path are we gonna take? Are we gonna like
Oh.
stay on the street, like follow the cars, or are we gonna like take the alleyway, go for a direct route, maybe cut through some buildings or something?
We should probably take alleyways and
Cut
try
through
to stay
buildings.
near the street so we don't get lost.
Yeah, because the idea of getting picked up by one of those flying bug things and carried off for a snack doesn't sound very appealing, you know?
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
any of them come nearby, we should duck down, like, near anything that's good cover so that they don't see us.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, if you can take a shot that might save some without putting yourself at risk, go ahead and take it.
As you guys are talking, you actually kind of feel like a little bit of a shaking, and you guys turn on to look to your left, and you see kind of out in the distance, moving between some of the taller buildings. You see one of those like four-legged things, like in the distance or whatever. It's kind of like at the edge of the forest or whatever, about 2 miles out. But once again, since you guys are kind of like on this long straightaway, you can kind of see it, and then it disappears around a building. But you can hear kind of like the receding as it goes on.
We
You
need
see
to
Scott, and
get
he's
down.
like, "Yeah, I don't want to screw with one of those things."
Yeah, we definitely need to get to the center of whatever this thing is
Right.
sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so let's go get those supplies. And so he kind of moves forward, and he's kind of like crouched. He's watching. You guys can see up in the sky like tiny dots, which you guys surmise are dragonflies. It's kind of like buzzing over. Occasionally, you can kind of hear like a squealing or whatever in the distance, but there's not really a lot around you guys. But he starts to head across the street and towards an alleyway and kind of like gestures for you guys to come along.
Alright.
Alright, I guess we'll follow.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys get across the street, and he's like, "Yeah, I think the best way to probably do this is to cut through our old apartment complex and then go in through the back, and that'll put us out on kind of a more of an open area. We won't have to worry about like overpasses and the like. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so he takes you guys into kind of a side entrance into the apartment complex from before. And he kind of like peeks inside, and he's like, "Yeah, it looks like the coast is clear." And you guys are moving through the apartment complex. Eventually, he takes you guys out on the other side. And you guys go through a back door. But right as you guys are about to leave, you see a fire extinguisher kind of next to this fire exit that he kind of just like opens up. He leads through the fire exit of the apartment complex.
Alright.
Hey, Branson, do you have a fire extinguisher on you?
Yes.
Andrew, you want to take it?
Where'd you get that fire extinguisher from, Branson?
That's the one we got when we were...
Went downstairs looking at the drinks and stuff, and there was
Yeah.
Oh
one
yeah,
down
that's
there.
right. Okay.
Yeah, I could take it, maybe. I don't really have a close range weapon on me, except
Yeah,
my
the
melee.
All right.
And
I can
he's-
give you my revolver instead.
No. No, I think I'll be good with my
I
Remington.
think he'll be
and-
better off with the... Yeah.
Well, I want to keep my fire extinguisher.
No, the
I'll
new
take
one.
other
The new
stupid.
one.
No. I thought you were thinking about taking mine.
No.
But you guys get the fire extinguisher, and you see Scott, and he's like, "Gonna put out any fires? What are we, firefighters now too?"
No, but cane ants, if you hit them with a fire extinguisher, like with the breath blast, they freeze up and die.
Ah,
And
the little
The
shitheads that we
dragonflies will
saw.
fuck off. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that
They're-
sounds pretty useful. Got
they're
a short
pain-
range on it.
They're a pain to fight in melee or shoot at, but a nice blast of this stuff is very good at getting them.
And we had to deal with a lot of them when they broke into our apartment a while ago, and we had to deal with them.
All right. So as you guys kind of come out of the back of the apartment, you actually see kind of like a parking lot. It's really open. There's not a lot of cars jammed up here, but you can see a few cars kind of like parked off to the side. There's some doors open on cars, a bunch of trash laying around. You actually see some bodies that have been kind of like munched on. So like they're like, you know, in halves, or like, you know, they're missing limbs and stuff like that. And you hear Scott say under his breath, "Oh shit. Okay. I don't see any of those things out." But a little bit in the distance, kind of in this parking lot, you see someone kind of like slumped over a little bit, and they're kind of like walking kind of side to side. It looks like they're favoring their leg a little bit. And Scott's like, "Hey, you guys see that? You see that person out there?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I see him.
Everybody get down.
Yeah, I don't. It looks like they're like delirious or something. Maybe they're hurt.
I
I
don't.
think we should go help him.
I mean, he's just out. Whoever they are, they're just out in the open. You know, like they're gonna get picked up or something, right?
We should be cautious.
Yeah.
It could be like a lure from some.
I don't think we
savory
should bother with
stores.
him.
Oh, I can go up and check on him, and you guys can cover me.
I say we move on.
Well, I mean, like, I understand like mission objectives and stuff like that, but are we just gonna leave this guy out there? I mean,
I think we should help him.
all right. What do you guys think? I'm kind of on the fence.
Let me look at him through my scope.
I say we don't go.
So you look through your scope, and you see they're kind of walking back and forth, and they're on top of this, like, it looks kind of like a gooey, kind of almost like glistening, really thin sheet of something. Like they're walking on top of something, and you see that there's a thing twisted up along their leg that kind of goes up onto their side a little bit. That they're just kind of like walking on top of this thing.
This guy is walking on some sort of sheet or something, and he's got something latched onto his leg, I think.
I say we don't bother and we keep on going. You remember what happened last time, Parker? You remember what happened?
That sounds pretty fucked up. I'm with Branson on this one.
Alright, I mean, like I said, I can go in, and you guys can cover me. I could get a closer look and maybe see what I can see from up close.
Say we don't do that and just head towards.
Yeah, I don't know about this, Parker. Like, you want to get up on close? I mean, I'm all for helping the guy, but like, you know, Andrew mentioned something like about like a lure or something like that. Like, what if this thing is like fucking like fishing for people or something?
Exactly.
I mean, he's got something latched to his leg, right? But is it latched to something else?
Go ahead and give me a logic check, Andrew.
Situation assessor?
Yeah, you can get that. Did you make it?
Yeah, he made it.
So, you look through your scope again, and this time you can see that the thing attached to his leg and kind of his side protrudes down into the kind of glistening kind of like mat that this thing is standing on. And it stretches out probably 12 feet, and it's kind of like a circle kind of like laid out. And then the person is standing on top of it with kind of like this single tendril that's wrapped up under his leg and up on his side, but it's attached to the center of this thing.
Yeah.
Some kind of tendril attached to from the thing that's on his leg to the sheet itself, so I'm thinking it's some sort of weird Venus flytrap kind of predator.
And there's some proof, and we shouldn't bother with it.
And right as you say that, you actually see a dragonfly swoop down after this thing, and it like grabs onto it and hooks it for a second, and you guys see the kind of fleshy mat underneath it pop up and close into like a big kind of orb, and you see kind of like struggling, and then you hear kind of like a sickening kind of like crunching popping sound as it flexes itself, and eventually you see movement stop on the inside of it, and then you see it the actual underneath it has a whole bunch of kind of like little tendrils, little kind of fingers, and then the ball starts to roll away, like it's formed a sphere and is like rolling away from its position to somewhere else.
Nope.
Alright, all in favor of not fucking with it, say aye. Aye.
All right. So Scott's like, yeah, that was fucked up. All right. Okay, we just got to get across this parking lot here. It's pretty open, but there's some tree coverage over there. If we head to that, I think we could probably get under and then over onto the other side of the street where we have alleyway again. You guys want to run it? You guys want to walk it?
Let's take it slow and careful. If we go slow, we attract less attention to ourselves.
We make noise, we're dead.
Right. Okay. So you guys start to kind of creep forward, and it's pretty open. You guys can see dragonflies like way up in the sky, kind of like flying over. They're like just buzzing up above. And Scott's like, all right, yeah, we're gonna have to climb up over the top of one of these cars, or crawl underneath it or something. But it looks like there's a bit of a traffic jam, and you can see like a bunch of cars kind of like pushed together, kind of forming almost like a little bit of a wall. So you're gonna have to go over the top of them.
I say we crawl under them.
Yeah. It's gonna be kind of tricky with the packs and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I say we just go over them. It'll be easier and faster.
All right.
Yeah, but you don't know if we go over the car.
I also have a crutch, Branson. I have a crutch.
Yeah.
bully
well,
one.
Can we not go around?
Look,
No,
I'll
it's
help.
like a wall.
Yeah, I mean, we could go around, but would have to follow the cars for quite some time. It looks like, and you guys actually see at the back of all of this, there's like a big garbage truck that has pushed all of these cars forward to kind of like mash them all together. Yeah, if we wanted to, we could just follow alongside the cars until we get behind that garbage truck, and then we'd be well on our way. But it's it's either go over it or go around it, you know?
I say we go around it.
What's your input, Branson? Andrew?
How much would it add to our trip, really?
I don't know. At the pace that we're moving, maybe like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, just go around it.
Alright, 10 minutes isn't too bad.
Yeah, let's just go around it.
All right. So you guys start to kind of skirt across, and as you're going, the dump truck, there's a little bit of like clearance between it and the side of the wall of the building, and you guys see one of those fleshy mats has kind of unfolded right in between the wall and the dump truck.
So we're going over it.
But I mean, you guys have already kind of like traveled or whatever, so you guys can go over the sides of the car or whatever onto the other side. But as far as like actually walking around the dump truck, it's going to be a little trickier.
Yeah, if it's got one of those mats there, I think we should just go over now.
Sure.
All right. Look, I'll help Parker. Does one of you want to take point and hop over the top of the car?
Andrew, you should take one.
Okay, yeah, and I'll prepare my fire extinguisher.
Okay. So Andrew, you climb on top of the car, and then you look over the side, and you actually see 3 more of those mats kind of folded out, and one of them actually has a creature that you've never seen before, kind of like tangled up on its tendril. It's very squat and 6-legged, and it has like bristles down its back, and then the front of it is separated in kind of like a U shape, almost like a hammerhead, but if you were to bend the eyes forward, and occasionally you hear it go, but it looks really dazed and stuff, and it's kind of just like walking around in circles on top of this mat with a tendril wrapped up around it.
3 more of the weird crap.
Alright.
Alright, yeah, there's more of that stuff on the other side of the car. Alright, Parker, I'm going to give you a boost, and he can like boost you on top of the car, and hands you your crutches. Branson, are you climbing over too?
Yeah, I guess.
Right. So you guys climb up over the car, and the mats are kind of spread out. You guys will have to walk between 2 of them. There's probably about 10 feet of clearance between one side and the other side. Or, sorry, one mat and the other mat kind of like laid out. So you guys can walk between them. All right, how do we proceed here? Are we gonna try to rush past them or what? I don't know how they, I don't see any eyes or anything. I don't know how they know what's around.
Take it slow. You don't want to cause any like physical thing. It's like, you ever seen that movie Tremors? Or it's the sandworms.
And then
Basically like that.
again, you guys hear the other one go. It's much louder.
I think we should preemptively attack them.
I'd say we don't. 'Cause if we do that,
I
there's the
mean, we
possibility
don't
of
want to be within
dragonflies.
close range.
Is there
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
rock
but
or
we don't want to start
anything
shooting
around?
at them and then a dragonfly.
I'm saying,
somewhere.
like, spray them with the
Yeah,
fire
there's-
extinguishers.
Well, we
There's
don't know
pretty-
if that'll do anything.
There's a lot of junk around.
I'm gonna pick something up and throw it on one of the mats.
All right. So you chuck a rock up on top of one, kind of a farther one, and it hits the top of the mat, and you can kind of see like a ripple from that point, and then you see a tendril pop out, like kind of like slither out of the center mass of it, and it like snaps at the rock for a second, and it snaps at it again, and then you see it wrap up around the rock, and then it throws it off of the mat, and then you see the tether go back inside. All
Is
of
there
you
a way we-
also give me a logic check.
Right. Assessor can work for this?
Yeah, assessor will work.
I believe in you. Good job, Andrew.
All right. So Andrew, as you watched him throw that, you just got the barest sense of kind of movement up to the kind of left of it, up on a building, kind of up to you guys as far left, and you see a dome that was kind of partially hidden unfold its antenna, and then you see that single eye kind of like looking around, and it seems like the antennae are kind of focused on the mat, but also a little bit toward you guys as well, and you can see them kind of like gingerly moving.
Alright guys, slowly and quietly take cover. There's one of
Behind.
those domes coming.
All right, and it's just like suctioned up on the side of one of the buildings, but it's definitely looks like it's gotten its attention from you guys or the rock, just kind
I'm
of
gonna
like in the area.
quietly pump my shotgun.
Okay, so you're locked and rated, and you see Scott, and he's like, "Yo, what the hell is that thing up over there?"
Shh, get behind the cars and away from its vision.
Talking.
But I mean, like,
Stop talking.
Just move quickly and quietly. I'll explain after we're out of danger. But for now, move
so you
quickly.
guys are you guys climbing up over the cars again, like backwards, or are you gonna try to get across the street?
I think we should climb back over the cars and get completely out of
Yeah, climb back.
and get the cars in between us
Yeah.
and the thing.
Okay, look, I'll give you a boost, Parker. The two of you go over. So everybody, give me a dex check, and you're gonna get a
Sweet
negative
lord.
die.
What the hell?
Parker, for just like he's gonna help you get up on top, but like wiggling over the top of it is gonna be tricky.
I got a problem here. Whenever I pull up my dexterity, I get 2.
I think what ended up happening is it got another one got added on accident. So let me go fix that.
Would my steady hands help me with climbing and stuff?
Not for this one. This one's more of like a full body thing.
Can I use stealthy to kind of not move loudly, or is this just like moving
Yeah,
quickly?
you can apply stealthy to it. It's fine.
Okay.
You guys are moving slow.
I don't think Juggernaut would work here, so.
Yeah, that's more of like, I'm getting over the top of this car, I'm gonna fuck. And then 1 negative die for Parker. Clears that 5 out, so that's fine. 2, 6, 5.
Gusta.
Did you roll yours, Branson?
Yeah, it
On
rolled,
dex?
but it didn't come up.
You gotta roll it in the chat box.
Yeah, I did.
Alright,
Son
we'll
of
do
a
that.
bitch.
So you guys are kind of distracted. You kind of have one eye on the car, one eye on the thing, and as you go up over the top, Branson, you actually, and to some extent, Andrew, you guys, as you get over, like Branson, you kind of knock the top. There's like a delivery like thing on top, like a magnetized thing, and you kind of knock it loose a little bit, Branson, as you're going over the top. And then Andrew, as you get up, you kind of doing it backwards a little bit. You knock it completely off the front of the car, and it falls and it clatters, and then you actually see some lights coming off of it. And you hear Scott say, "Oh, that's not." And then as soon as he says that, all of you guys give me a dex check.
Oh,
Shit.
do I get like hand-eye? Wait, since I didn't make any loud noise, do I get a bonus for that?
You won't, because this is to see if you're gonna be able to get out of the way.
Oh, okay. Shit.
All right. So as soon as Scott kind of says, "Well, that's not good," all of a sudden you hear kind of a poof, and you see the tentacle shoot out of the dome that was up on the side of the building, and it shoots forward, and it plunges itself right into your left hand, Branson. Mm-hmm. And then you can feel the meat of this thing. It's very warm and kind of pulsy, kind of wrap up around your hand, and it starts to lift you into the air.
Okay. Shit.
I'm gonna use my.
I have my shotgun in my hand, so could I use the bayonet somehow?
I was gonna use my makeshift machete and try it and cut it in half.
All right. So the problem with this one is that it's not as close to the ground as it was before. It's like got you standing on your tippy toes right now, Branson, with your hand all the way up in the air. And so to be able to get it, whoever's going to swing at it has to jump from the top of the car.
Parker, do this.
I will.
I'm
worry.
going to whip out my fire extinguisher and spray.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
We already tried it. It doesn't work.
Well, here's the thing, is that in the heat of the moment, Andrew does not know that unless you guys told him, which I can say you guys told him. But
yeah, we would have explained.
Yeah, that's what the thing. Okay, so that's fine. So who's going to try to take the cut?
Would it be a dex since you're jumping and trying to cut it?
Yeah, it's going to be a dex, and for you, Parker, if you're going to attempt to do it, jumping on that ankle is going to suck.
Yeah, I know, but Andrew only has a dex of 2. So if Branson's gonna get out alive, it's gotta be me.
All right.
Fucking owe me.
Also, Branson, the thing is starting. It's shot the barbs through your hand, and it's starting to widen out, and you can actually feel the bones in your hand start to crack and pop, and it hurts. It's extremely bad. So
Can I use charisma on myself to be like, hey, calm yourself down?
You're gonna have to give me willpower saves so that you don't cry out. Can you handle this?
Oh,
okay.
Thank God.
So you manage to you actually bite hard on your tongue and it starts to bleed a little bit, but you manage not to cry out. Now give me a vitality save to see whether or not you're gonna pass out. Got it. So you manage not to pass out and stuff, but you watch as your hand is basically just crunched up by this thing as it starts to lift you into the air, and it's putting a lot of pressure on your shoulder. But okay, we'll get to the next thing. I just needed to do that. So Parker, you gonna try to cut him down?
Yeah. Can I get the skateboarding legs for the jumping?
It's gonna be negated by the. I'm not gonna make you have a negative dice for this. For the jump, but you won't get any bonuses.
And then maybe hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, hand-eye coordination is fine.
I'm going to grab onto Branson and
put me down so I don't fall on the car.
So you just hold onto his legs. You don't have to roll for that. You can just grab him. But it is super painful for him to be pulling you on your legs as this thing's pulling up above you, and you can feel the ligaments in your shoulder start to separate a little bit because this thing is strong. So Parker, you jump up and you slash at it and you cut through it, and once again that really hot liquid sprays out of it, kind of over the top of the car, and it makes it really slick. And as you come down, you slip.
I was gonna say I wanted to roll a dex to try and angle where my fall, so
you'll be able to do that. As you come down, you feel like you could easily kind of slip on the gel kind of blood or whatever. So yeah, give me a dex roll to see kind of how you land, and this is going to be dependent on how well the success is. So if you roll a 1, that'll be really good.
Can I get a hand-eye coordination for this, or no?
No, this is going to be more of reflexes.
Okay. Well, what about the skateboarding thing? Because you got to learn how to fall. Yeah, with the
balance. That's fine.
Yeah, balance and learning how to fall.
Alright, so you got 2 successes, with 3 being the lowest out of the set. So as you come down, you kind of slip, but you manage to kind of angle your body so that you just land on your butt on the top of the hood of the car. Just kind of hard, but not so that you take any damage. And then you see Scott, and he's like, "Holy shit!" He like cries out real loud with it. And Branson, give me another willpower check, because this thing's like, you've fallen too, but you just kind of land on
Can
your
I
feet,
use
or you land on your knees or whatever. What?
Juggernaut as a bonus, maybe? Because
You don't have to make a roll, but your hand is just mangled. Your left hand is in really bad shape, and you can't make a fist or anything with it. And also the barb is still in there, and it's kind of writhing and kind of like opening and closing, and it hurts very bad. So give me another willpower save.
Alright.
Okay. This time you can't help it. You just cry out.
Wait, wouldn't he have been able to use Juggernaut for the willpower save?
Yeah.
Would that have been a vitality thing?
So with Juggernaut, it's trying to do something. So if he had been trying to like save somebody or get an objective finished, he could apply Juggernaut to it at his own detriment to just get it done. For this, it's more of like a neutral kind of thing. He's not trying to accomplish anything.
Yeah, I see. That makes sense.
All right, so you cry out, and Scott, he hears you cry out, and he's already said "holy shit" really loud, but you can kind of hear squealing in the air a little bit, and he puts his hand over your mouth. And so give me a vitality save again, Branson, to see if you pass out or not. Nope, you are good. You stay aware. You see Scott actually, he grabs onto a rag that he had in his back pocket, and he starts to wrap up your hand to kind of stop some of the blood. All right, so Parker and Andrew, what are you guys going to do?
I want to pull out my AR and watch the skies.
Okay, so you're watching the skies. You guys are kind of more or less undercover with some of the trees here. It's not super open in the area that you guys are at. It does look like the dragonfly intensity has kind of gone up, but they're still pretty high up in the air. So.
I'm going to give Scott my duct tape roll and pull out my rifle and prepare myself for anything.
All right. So right now, Branson, you kind of got your back to the car. You're kind of just like sitting with your thing wrapped up. Scott's kind of like slapping you a little bit to keep you focused or whatever. You're really pale. But you notice, Branson, since you're kind of looking out instead of up at the skies, you see some of the mats start to kind of just like, almost kind of like a slug, start to move towards you guys' positions. Just kind of like slowly.
Could I quietly tell them, like, hey, there's something coming, get ready?
And Scott turns and he's like, oh shit, he's not joking. I think we stirred up some other stuff too.
Alright, I'm gonna pull out my handgun, because I can't use my shotgun.
Alright. So, as this is going on, the tentacle is just slowly reeling back into the creature, or into the dome or whatever, but that's going on as well. So, yeah, it doesn't look like the dragonflies got alerted. Like, they're more aware, but they don't know what's going on. They don't know where you guys are at.
Right, we should move.
Yeah, we need to get out of here quickly.
All right. So Scott looks left and right, and he's like, "All right. Yeah, I think we could probably. Let's see. There's and he turns and looks. And he's like, "Oh, look, someone's smashed the window in that hardware store over there. I think we could probably get into that, no problem, if we just stay up on the sidewalk."
All right, let's head that way.
All right. So you guys can kind of shuffle over to the hardware store, and the door is locked, but of course the window's blown out. So you guys can get inside there, and you see that that there's people have kind of been inside, and you don't really see anybody, but you guys are just kind of in the storefront, kind of in the front, and but you don't hear anything. You can give me a logic check if you want to investigate more.
Alright, I will on my assessor.
Okay.
I'll roll as well.
I guess I'll roll.
Alright, you'll get one negative die, Branson. Also, Branson, you're going to take 2 physical stress from that.
Yeah, I'll get it back.
You're good.
Let me see.
And
Resist it.
it can't be reduced.
Okay. Tokens, please.
Yeah. All right. And Branson, you're also going to take this here. Branson, you're also going to take 2 in the mental as well.
Is this not resistible either?
This one you can resist.
Yeah, I resist it.
You'll resist one of them.
Okay.
From what I can see on your chart. There you go. All right, so you guys, I'll wait till Parker gets back. But during this time, if we can do this real quick, you guys can kind of look over your injuries and convert
I'm
stress.
back
to traumas.
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and convert stress into traumas if you want. Branson, you're gonna have a forced one on this. You gotta do the tier 2, so it's gonna be gonna be a week. But the thing with it is you're just gonna have mauled left hand, and this is a rough one because it's gonna make it to where your hands, like dexterity, like even just making a fist and stuff like that, is gonna be nigh impossible right now.
All right.
I want to convert my tier 1 mental
Okay.
to.
Yeah, same for me.
Okay. What do you guys think is appropriate?
I mean, maybe I can have from the last 2 episodes, since I did, kill 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
3 actually.
All right, and I want to
Yeah, you
do
just killed.
one more physical, and then just one more physical trauma.
Remember, you can only have 3
2.
physical traumas at a time.
Yeah, I only have 2.
Okay.
Maybe something along the lines of stressed about violence, or...
Well, that's not physical. I only have one.
Well, he's talking
No,
about
for
for
me.
himself.
Oh.
Yeah, so for you guys as mental ones, Parker, I think maybe cold is one that can be, or like maybe not afraid to kill. And it's kind of seen also as a negative positive, so you can do that. But it's definitely will be a thing later, because you'll, not right now, but there's a chance that it could evolve into like a PTSD thing almost.
Alright,
So,
and how
yeah.
long? I guess it'd be a day, because it was a.
Yeah,
Tier
this
1.
one's gonna be kind of, so this one, instead of it being like full blown PTSD, it's just gonna be like, I've killed people, I've murdered, well, not murdered people, but I've taken someone's life. So however you want to phrase that for a day, and it'll turn into something else later. Andrew, what was yours?
Like either stressed by violence or feeling like I don't have enough control over stuff.
Yeah, maybe you could do, the control thing is interesting. Basically, yeah, because you haven't exactly been calling, like you've been weighing in on decision stuff, but you haven't been calling the shots. That's appropriate. All right, and then Branson, you said that you were gonna turn what into what?
One more stress into physical trauma.
So the way it works, Branson, is yours, since you did the hand one that I was telling you about that'll last a week, you'll actually clear these
Oh, okay.
all like this, and then this one will slide all the way down to here. You see
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
So you have some free, but yeah, your hand is pretty mangled. But you guys climbing through the window, kind of blown out. You guys did your logic checks. Branson and Andrew, you guys actually, you can look around. You can see that someone has been here recently, because just the way that it kind of looks, you see that there's like fresh mud, like boot prints, kind of through the glass and over the top of things. So somebody's definitely been in, within the last, hour or so. Somebody's broken into this place.
I'll
you see-
whisper to him, like, on your toes, boys.
Right. And Scott's like, yeah, oh God. Okay, and he kind of like peeks out the window and he's like, yeah, I think those mats things just kind of stopped. It looked like they were just trying to get the drop on us because they were so low to the ground. Shit, man, your hand is fucked up. What do we do?
I need some of your pain medication, Parker.
Yeah, I'll give him. I'm gonna give him three of my pain pills. Actually, I'll give him 4.
All right.
Thanks.
So make
And
sure
then
you
I'm
have that in
gonna-
inventory.
I've got some antibiotics as well.
All right. Yeah, we definitely need to dress this thing up. That looks fucking bad, man. I can see your bones and shit.
Yeah.
Is the barb still in it?
Yes, don't take it out.
So
It'll cause me to
since
bleed
you
profusely.
guys were moving, more or less some of it came out, but it's still these kind of like hooked, kind of like teeth or kind of like spines are still stuck in your hand, and your thumb is just kind of hanging off to its side, and you can see the tendons. It's pretty bad. He's like, shit. Okay, shit, man. What do we need to go back or we keep going? And Branson, since you took the pain pill and they're pretty fast acting, like you can kind of feel the throbbing in your hand go away, but you're definitely in shock. You haven't had anything like this happen to you before, but the pain medication is helping. So I'll need you to do another vitality check, but you'll get a plus. You'll get a plus D6 for the pain pill. It seems like there's kind of a tunnel in front of you, and then it seems like someone is just closing the curtains, and you just pass out. And Scott sees you pass out, and he turns to Andrew Parker. He's like, "Oh shit, man, he's out. Is he dying? Is he dead? Oh god damn it! What do we do? What do we do?"
He's not dead. He's just unconscious.
We should move into like a back room or something.
Yeah, let's get him back there.
We can't move him or take him back either, because he's fucking fucked.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Maybe take him further into the store or something. Maybe we can. I don't know. Some of us stay here and we send someone, one of us out to go get some help or something. I don't know. I don't think we can get him back by ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. We can't. I'm pretty stealthy and stuff. I can head out, see what I see.
Right. And you guys have kind of traveled a little bit, like the line of cars and stuff. You guys are about an hour away from the apartment complex, like on foot, in the direction that you guys took. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Well, first, before you head on out, let's see. Let's kind of maybe secure this place, make sure nobody else is here. Or some of them fucking monsters outside,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick sweep and make sure it's clear.
All right. So everyone, give me a logic check, except for Branson because you're knocked out.
And
Can I get focused
situation?
since I'm focused on what I'm doing?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Would my situation assessor
Yes.
and
Yeah.
tactician, since I wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to think-
tactician, you can apply for this one. That's fine. All right. So 6, 5, 6, 2. All right. So Parker, you look around and you can see that a lot of basically the things hit hardest were hammers, things like that. It looked like people did this immediately, kind of in the beginning, but the boot prints don't really add up to that because a lot of the stuff that got taken, you can kind of surmise was taken early, but whoever's broken into it more recently, or at least came in through the hole that other people had made, you see the mud tracks lead into the back, into where they keep the store stuff. Andrew, as you're looking around, you see that the front door, somebody has dragged something in front of it, and as you kind of come around a corner, you see a dead body, and it's also it seems to be partially eaten, just kind of laid out in front of you, and you actually see a cane ant kind of feeding on it or whatever, just a single one.
I pull out my fire extinguisher and give it a quick blast.
All right, so you just, and you see it get real sluggish, and then it just kind of you hear kind of a cracking sound, and then it just stops moving. as if it is frozen. You see Scott. He's looking around too, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm looking around. I don't really see much. It's kind of a smaller store, but I see those boot prints leading back into the storage area."
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna draw my makeshift machete.
Right.
I'm gonna go back with my fire extinguisher.
All right. Scott's like, "I'll stay here with Branson." Right? You guys go on.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys go. You see that the door to the storage area is closed. You can see the muddy footprint leading to it, but you also see kind of a blood stain on the handle, and you hear inside kind of like a little bit of movement. It's just very quiet. It sounds as if like there's something moving on the other side of the door.
Quietly open the door.
Yeah, quietly open the door.
You quietly open the door, and as you open it, you see 3 of these things. They're four-legged, very kind of like muscular, hairless build. They don't have any eyes that you can see, but kind of at the front of them, front of their faces, it's almost like a bowl opening almost, and there's like a long kind of like flat membrane that extends from their head kind of along their backs that they kind of like flick towards different directions and stuff like that. And as soon as you guys slowly kind of open the door, it creaks a little bit, and you see that kind of membranous flap kind of like turn sideways and like focus on the door. And then you hear kind of like a whistling, like real low, and then like a shrill kind of high sound. And then you see the 3 things turn and then jump out a window that's in this area that's been blown out. And they do it one after the other, like synchronized, and then are gone.
Freaky.
Fuck. Well, if they're gone, they're gone. We'll just
Need to
shut
keep-
this door.
We need to keep on our toes about this, though. They
Yeah.
might come back in numbers.
Yeah, those things are clearly fast movers.
So yeah, so you just shut the door again, and Scott's like, he sees you guys. Do you guys come back to Branson, Scott?
Yeah.
All right. He's like, "Yo, what'd you guys see?"
Sort of
And,
freaky thing. Big and
Four-legged.
muscular.
Yeah. It's quick too, but they jumped out the window. There were 3 of them.
They jumped out when did they see you guys or something?
Yeah, they heard we opened the door, and I guess they heard it.
Scared them. Maybe they, you know, like maybe they're not interested in us. I don't know.
Yeah, not everything can be a predator.
Yeah,
Hopefully there's some herbivores or something.
yeah. Hopefully or something. All right. Shit. Yeah, he's breathing. I mean, his breath is I mean, it's not like shallow or anything. I think he's just passed out from the shock of it. And I've just kind of laid him out here. But we gotta, I don't know. I feel like we gotta get him away from not only the glass on the floor, but also the outside itself.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
We
I
need
can
to look down the street and see if there's other buildings that are better.
I
Yeah.
I can scout out real quick and see what I can find.
Yeah.
Wind is really blowing. Sorry. All right. So he's like, all right, yeah. Let me help him up. So Branson, go ahead and give me another vitality check.
Damn.
All right, you're still passed out. So he kind of like helps you up, and he's like, it's hard to hold on to his arm. It's slick with that shit that came out of that thing. But he manages to kind of like lift you up. And all right, so we're going back on the street. We're gonna try a different building.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
place isn't secure.
So you guys climb out, and then right next door is a cell phone repair shop. But it's got the windows still there, and the door is closed.
Yeah, that place maybe won't have anything we could really use to help Branson or take back with us.
But it might be. It seems to be pretty secure.
Yeah, at least the glass isn't blown out or anything.
We can
Acro-
try getting into it.
Yeah,
Across
I
the
can try.
street, across the street, you guys see a subway that's also
Sandwich
closed up and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like Subway.
Yeah, I guess we'll just call it a sandwich shop. You see a sandwich shop.
Quiznos.
But we might be able to find some food in there. Something.
Yeah, so,
Oh no, the
I mean,
meat and stuff not being
mean-
refrigerated could have drawn in some predators.
yeah, I mean, there's a cell phone shop here, and I mean, we wouldn't have to cross the street with Branson, but to get over
Yeah.
to the sandwich shop, like, it'd be pretty tricky.
I say we go to the cell phone shop.
Who said that?
There's another enemy. Let's shoot it.
Is that
multiple
God?
times.
Shoot it.
All right, so what do you guys do? You can't weigh
I
in,
do
Branson.
think we should go to the cell phone shop. It
Yeah.
seems to be the most secure.
We could put him in there and have Scott protecting him.
All right, so you guys climb out. Be really kind of careful. The mats have kind of moved and back into a position. They're nearby-ish, but not like super nearby. And you see Scott, and he's like, "All right." He comes over and he looks at it, and he's like, "Yep, let me just." And you see him. He pulls a screwdriver out of his back pocket, and he goes, "Okay, let me." There we go. And he's like, "All right, I managed to pop the lock open. Shitty door." And he opens it and kind of gestures for you guys to help Branson help Branson get inside.
Yeah, we'll carry Branson in there.
All right. So you guys get inside, and then he shuts the door, and you guys are just basically like in an AT&T wireless store, like like wood floor, stuff like that. There's like a back office, but it seems to be pretty deserted. Nobody's here. You don't see anybody who has been in here, or any like tracks on the ground or anything. What do you guys do?
Alright, so
I mean, can
What's
you
our
try
next-
to wake me up, or?
yeah, I guess we can try and wake him up again.
All right. Go ahead and give me an empathy check.
Fuck. And could I maybe get rushes to 8 as a bonus?
Yeah, we could do that.
Alright.
Kind of like you're frantically like, come on. All right.
Damn.
You don't manage to. You kind of slap him around a little bit and like shout at him, but he's not really responding. He's
You
like,
should get a 6 and try to wake him up by punching him in the nuts.
right in the testicles.
Or could I wake up myself again? Can I at least try?
If he had succeeded in that, I would have given you a chance to try to wake up. He's like, all right, well, what are we gonna do? I think we should take him in the back.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then we'll look around and try to find some medical supplies.
All right. So you guys take him around to the back. There's like kind of like an office / kind of like workers only kind of thing. There's like a mini fridge set up, but there's like a big kind of like circular table. And Scott starts to take Branson and like kind of puts him on top of it, kind of clears off some of the stuff. Guys, give me a logic check to see what you can find in the room.
I'm gonna add focused again.
Assessor.
Okay, yeah, it's good.
You and your bonus.
Fuck.
All right. So Parker, you go over to you start to look around, and you go over to the fridge and open it up and look inside, but there's nothing in there. Andrew, you look around, and you manage to find kind of like a pack of Band-Aids or whatever, along with some like tape in one of the drawers. But that's the best that you could find inside of this like rest area.
Set that stuff next down to Branson, and then I'm gonna go look elsewhere.
All right. As you do that, you guys start to feel a and it starts to feel like it's getting louder, and occasionally you can kind of hear like stuff like getting knocked around a little bit, and Scott's like, "Oh God," and that's where we're going to end it for this session.
Yay.
Damn.
Yep.
Why is
I
it
got
that you
fucked
guys
up.
keep getting the crap kicked out of you, and I'm just like.
You got shell shocked for one episode.
Yeah, you did get shell shocked.
All right. So what we need to do is advance the characters. So starting with Andrew, what is a positive feature you think you showed? It can be one that you used a bunch and it'll raise the entire stat by 1, or you can get a whole new feature.
I did a lot of assessment, and I did do some diplomatic stuff. Maybe a little bit.
You could
Good.
try. Maybe
Problem.
since you did do a lot of assessment again, you raise your logic up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. You did it. You can raise that logic. Yeah, that would be a good one.
Alright, so I'm on logic 5 now.
All right. What's one negative feature you think you showed?
Maybe dexterity.
Yeah, I did kind of derp out every time I needed to do something dexterous.
So I would say
Just had a brain fart.
Do you already have clumsy under?
No.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and put maybe like fidgety or clumsy under negative feature for
And all
physical.
the clumsy enough stuff was around stuff that involved my legs, so...
Yeah, it was actually like, moving around and stuff like that. Like you can be deft of hand and stuff like that, but you can be like bad at, balance and stuff like that.
Unhappy feet.
Yeah. All right. Parker, what's one positive thing that you think you showed?
I have continued to fulfill my role as an action hero. I was pretty good with the blade again,
Mm-hmm.
with saving Branson from it. But I mean, I don't think I did much.
You can add another point onto Dex if you want, if you're not already at 5.
I'm not at 5.
Yeah. You could probably bump that up by 1.
Alright.
So, want to know how I phrased my bad legs balance and stuff?
Sure.
Balance of a one-legged cat.
What an interesting sight. So, okay. And then what's a negative one you think you showed?
I wasn't super, like, when I was, I guess, trying to figure out how to pick the lock, I fucked that up.
So maybe, like, you don't have a lot of patience for, very, fine, like you wouldn't be able to put together a puzzle in one sitting kind of thing. Like, you just don't have the patience. So maybe, like, impatient and put that under mental.
Alright.
Okay. Branson, what's a positive you think you showed?
Something with charisma or willpower.
Yeah, I think, so we have the nurturing. I think you can do situation diffuser or just diffuser under social now.
I also thought of maybe people reader as well, because when we were interviewing the people, I thought Sarah would have been a bad choice because she was crazy.
That's true too. Yeah, you can go ahead and do people reader under
Abilities, and then
this is going to be under not mental, it's going to be under social as the people reader, and this is going to be looking into not what their next move is going to be, but as to what they're feeling and stuff like that. And you can kind of get a sense if they're even if they're lying to you and stuff like that, you can kind of sort that out.
So people reader.
Yeah. And so it'll be a social positive. What's a negative you think you showed?
Dexterity and totally vitality.
Well, your vitality kept you from crying out once. The dex, yeah, that was more of a thing. I would actually lower your dex by 1. That's one that you can do. Or you can get a new negative feature.
Give me a negative feature.
So let's see. Probably...
Trips.
we could do...
Slow.
I already have slow.
Oh.
We could do... unsteady, or maybe,
You have clumsy?
bad balance.
Yes.
Security is
Trip
clumsy.
over feet.
I have low endurance. I have everything that's terrible for physical.
Well, your vitality's good. It's just you don't have a lot of dex stuff. Like your dexterity's not super where it's at.
You're a tank, Branson.
Yeah. So, maybe we could do... What's a good one? I think just lowering your dex by 1, I think would cover it. Especially now since your hand is screwed up, it makes even more sense.
Injury, Parker, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your dex at now?
My dex is still 3.
Oh,
Yeah, lower by 1.
Great.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so that's all of that. Yeah, so was this one was a little bit more like meeting people, kind of like planning, kind of having a base of operations kind of thing. I would not have done the tentacle monster shooting at you guys for realsy if everyone, or at least if 2 people had not failed the dex roll on getting over the car, it wouldn't have happened, and so the shit wouldn't have hit the fan as hard as it did. But yeah. But did you guys enjoy this one? Like, was the pacing good? What do you guys think?
It was fun, but I got fucked.
it was fun.
Yeah. And then the creature design, good. Introduced some new stuff. You
Yeah.
guys get to
Yeah,
see
it's-
some things.
Interesting, and I don't know. I feel like we're gonna be using improvised explosives in the near future.
Maybe.
That
but,
me fucking up dex rolls all the time now.
Yeah, and
I-
me succeeding continually in all of my dex rolls for the rest of time.
Yeah, he saved you on that one with cutting the tentacle down.
And I haven't
Alright.
even taken any damage myself.